It's Tuesday. We're glad you're here with us here on the Annie Frey Show. And today we got a great poll for you. And it's about Cyclospora. I'll get to that here in a minute. I'd have Ryan do it. But as the intro was playing to the show, he goes, I don't have my headphones. So I told him he should go get them. We have Jim Carafano joining us at 1:05. And I'm very curious to talk to him about the whatever it is that's unveiling at the White House right now. President Trump is sitting with the leader of Lebanon. And yesterday, when we were speaking with Victoria Coates of the Heritage Foundation, she said that she thought that there may be a potential deal. I believe that was with her that I heard that conversation that I was in, saying that a deal with Lebanon would be enormous. My question to Victoria Coates yesterday was, yes, okay, everyone's focusing on Iran and the bombs. Not wrong to do that at all. Of course, that's an obvious thing to do. But let's talk about the wider lens view of the reshaping and the remaking of the Middle East. And in the remaking of the Middle East, to me, that is the alliances there, the group understanding that Iran is a hot mess express, state sponsor of terrorism. The problems that exist in the Middle East often, almost always, find their way back at the top to Iran. What does it do to remake the Middle East and to create a collective agreement with these countries around Iran to say, we're not dealing with the bully on the playground parking lot anymore. We stand together united against Iran. Is that what's happening? Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but Jim Carafano knows, and he will speak with us in about an hour from right now. Congressman Eric Burlison will be with us here in 10 minutes or so, and we're going to talk to him about something I've gotten a lot of information from you guys, a lot of questions. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not the person right now that you are going to listen to hear everything you need to know about Amendment 4 and Amendment 5 facing Missouri voters in this election coming up here. So Amendment 4, according to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, here's the headline. Amendment 4 would make it harder to change Missouri's constitution, but not for lawmakers. And the headline from the Post-Dispatch, 6 things to know about Amendment 5, the plan to phase out Missouri's income tax. A state income tax, no more in the state of Missouri. That sure sounds nice, but things are never as easy as they may seem on the surface. So, no, I don't get to vote in the Missouri. I'm an Illinois voter. I should be able to vote wherever I want, whenever I want. Don't you feel like that's kind of like the entitlement that we should have?
That's what I do.
Okay. I'll have to take some notes here after the show and get in that game. So I'm kind of Switzerland on this, but I do know this is very important to you. So instead of me giving you my thoughts and opinions on how you should vote in Missouri, I'm going to get some Missourians on the show leading up to the primary to give you the opportunity to hear what they have to say so you can make an educated decision. I think that's the best way that I can go about it. And Congressman Burlison is going to join us just before 12:20 to talk about that. We're also working on, I don't know, Brad, how far you got on this, but I want a Mark and Mark panel of amendment conversation.
We've got a tentative time and date.
When?
So Thursday at 1.
Excited about that?
Yeah, I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, I want them both in here, and I want to ask pressing questions to make them fight.
Okay, is there gonna be a fight between them on that, though?
I have no idea.
Okay.
If they don't fight about that, I'll come up with
You'll
something
find
else.
something, because it's got to be good radio.
Yeah, I want...
No, we're both in favor.
I mean,
okay.
Mark and Mark, they are as plugged in as anybody.
Yeah.
On these issues. And, when it comes to Illinois issues, we here on the Annie Frey Show, 3 Illinois residents, maybe the stupidest people in the building, but yet we love our home and are willing to fight for it. We are the go-to, honestly, in St. Louis radio. There is nobody else who's talking about Illinois politics in St. Louis radio with the knowledge, know-how, and connection of this show.
No.
But I'm not going to, I get a little annoyed when people... when Missouri people, when it comes to state politics about Illinois, they just treat it like the train wreck that you can't turn your eyes away from. And it is home for some of us. But I also understand how people in Missouri are like, why do you live there? I have personal public invitations from the governor of the state of Missouri, senators from the state of Missouri, all down to local government saying, just come on over. It's enticing. But as the 3 of us have talked about, if we were to relocate, Missouri wouldn't necessarily be the first state that we would consider. If you're going to pick up and go.
Well, unless they get rid of the income tax.
Man, that Florida sunshine is calling.
I don't know.
After I just returned.
Yeah.
Missouri sunshine's pretty nice, too.
It's nicer than Illinois sunshine,
Yeah,
at least in the tax department. So we'll talk to Congressman Burlison in 10 minutes about his positions on that. And you can hear what he has to say. I've also asked Brad earlier in the show, or early before the show today, we are going to work to get Congressman Wesley Bell and former Congresswoman Cori Bush on the show to talk about why one over the other.
Not together.
I mean, I'll take that fight.
Unless they want to.
Can you imagine if the debate between the two of them happens? That would be so stupid.
That'd be amazing.
That would be the dumbest thing they could do.
My gosh.
You should totally do it, guys. I mean, it would. I want to have them. I want to have them both on. No, I know that you listening right now, you're not like, gosh, I don't know who to vote for, Wesley Bell or Cori Bush. I get it, but one of those two people is going to be the representative from District 1.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. And here's the question: what's the difference between the two of them? So I would like to ask them. I get asked, and I'm saying this on the air right now because if they don't come on, you need to know that we're asking. Bill Maher has just been out recently on I think it was the John Carl interview on ABC, and he's like, Democrats won't come on my show. He's a Democrat, and they won't come on his show. Not Cori Bush. We've asked Cori Bush when she was the representative many times to come on the show, and she was like, nah, you can stop asking. One time they were like, she's not going to do it. Stop asking. And I told Brad, I'm like, ask twice as much. But Wesley Bell came on the show.
Yes, he did.
And we did a video call. So it was on the YouTube live stream, and it was after the tornado, and they were very respectful of us here on this show. I mean, mad credit to Wesley Bell for giving 97.1 listeners, who are his constituents, his time, because his time is really their time. It's your time. And the truth of the matter is, when you get elected to any of these positions, you're not just there to govern the party that you are a member of in your district. You're there to govern for all the people who are in your district. So you deserve a right to hear from these individuals as well. We will make the attempt to have them come on the show. And listen, another thing. When Wesley Bell comes on the show, because I think it's better than a 50% chance that he will. Cori Bush, no shot in a frozen over hell, but we are going to try. There's my challenge to you, Cori Bush, if you can handle it. Because I know Wesley Bell can, because he has. When they come on the show, I'm not going to try to convince them to be Republicans. There's no point in that. There's no point in that. I mean, unless you want... Steve's probably listening like, I can think of some entertaining points of that. But that's not how they're going to come back on the show. I will ask them questions. They will answer them in a way that is true to what they believe. And what they believe is likely not going to be what we believe, but let's hear it from them. And if I want to ask a follow-up question that asks for clarification, like their answer, even if it isn't the answer that I would want to hear from them, they're entitled to that answer. And so if I have, when I had Wesley Bell on the show, and it was post-tornado, he was talking about the recovery effort. He was praising the first responders in the area for their attention to the matter and their dedication to making sure that they could do as much as, everything was great about that interview. There were people who were like, you let Wesley Bell off the hook. I was like, what did you want me to do? Ask him to vote MAGA?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not how it works. And honestly, if I had a beloved uncle who was dyed-in-the-wool leftist, I wouldn't treat them like that either. I think that the bridging the gap so that we can have conversation once again is the biggest thing that's missing in what we do for a living. It's a lot easier for me to come on the show and to criticize a Democrat for being a Democrat. But let's be honest, what even is a Democrat right now? It's like asking, is the Pope Catholic? Is a Democrat a Democrat? Because some of them aren't. Some of them are socialists. And that is an important distinction. And that, to me, is the distinction in Missouri 1's congressional district. So let's talk about it.
And that's a good question. And that's a fair question to ask a Democrat right now, even if you are part of leftist media. Because I would want to know, what am I voting?
Primary.
What am I voting for? Like, tell me who you are and what distinguishes you from the other candidate in this case, or really just from a socialist. Or are you a socialist?
Yeah. I see Kara Spencer's name in the YouTube chat as well. We have requested them on. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they have not been non-responsive.
No, it's always been a timing issue where they couldn't fit it into their schedule. At least that's what they say, so...
Oh, that must mean that they can't fit it into their schedule.
We should find out when it fits into their schedule and then do that, which is what we're trying to do today with Dr. Oz. We've got a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak. If you don't understand that shop talk, that's a radio talk. That means we got a lot going on.
Yeah, irons in the fire, I don't think is exclusive to radio.
No?
It's also blacksmithing.
That's right.
I was concerned to where you were going with that. Irons in the fire, really? That's for everybody?
Yeah, that's an everybody thing. Yeah, you got to grab the bull by the horns and use that phrase.
Ooh, I'm not familiar with that one.
No?
No.
That's a stock market phrase. Sort of. I think it's more of business phrase, actually,
Maybe
now that I
livestock.
say that. Yeah, it's obviously a rodeo clown phrase.
Only on this show can you go from euphemisms and analogies to Congressman and potentially the director of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Did you hear about this fraud fight that they're increasing right now? I am so excited that while everything in the world is going haywire, in large part because President Trump just isn't okay with the status quo. I'm okay with that. Get stuff done while you're there. Absolutely. There is news right now out of the White House that this fraud thing, it is soldiering on like a strong freight train that can't stop. I love that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the main story all the time. When it's not the main story, that stuff's still happening.
This story,
Ryan just got in his defensive
real
stance.
Excited because this story needs to never end.
Yeah.
Because it will never stop being a problem. It always needs to be headline number 2. Whatever's going on, and then that one.
Even if it's not a headline, we got to know it's still going on. FoxNews.com and Stephen Soros report that the Trump administration is freezing more than $1 billion in federal Medicaid funding to California and Minnesota over suspected fraud. RFK Jr. warned Tuesday that states will not receive another taxpayer dollar until they prove the payments are legitimate. Go on with yourself, Mr. RFK Jr.
Love it. Love it. And this is the role of government. This is like we're all shocked because the government's doing what they're supposed to do and not the exact opposite, which is what we've become accustomed to.
Kennedy said if Governor Gavin Newsom or Governor Tim Walz wants this funding released, all they have to do is provide basic documentation showing that these services are legitimate and not fraudulent. And that's common sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. All right, we're just going to pantomime to the camera with a thumbs up.
That's all we got.
That's all we're doing.
You said it, sir. You said it, Secretary. Push-ups. Pretty pumped about that. Congressman Burlison with us when we return. Of course, he's Missouri's 7th Congressional District. Drove down to Cape Girardeau for some baseball a few weekends ago. Saw a lot of Burley signs down there.
Yeah, I did too on the way to Branson.
Yes. We'll talk about Amendment 4 and Amendment 5 on the ballot for Missourians coming up here with the congressman. He's got some thoughts on it. We thought maybe you'd like to hear them. If you got questions for the congressman, this is the time to throw them in the YouTube chat because your questions are smarter questions than mine are in this instance. You probably know more about it than I do. You can text them to us as well. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. And I'll just also add that this song, which I never know that they're happening until they happen, changed my life. Thanks, Ethan, for picking this one. Congressman Eric Burlison next.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job. Cut the Bull PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO 877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're so happy that you're here with us on another hot and steamy Tuesday afternoon in St. Louis. That's just the way it goes. We're used to it. It's the Midwest. We just love our air conditioning here. Now, in the state of Missouri, there are some things that are potentially going to be changing quite a bit. The opportunity to vote on two specific amendments. One is about changing the Missouri Constitution. That's Amendment 4. And the Amendment 5 is the idea to plan the plan to phase out Missouri's state income tax. Now, as an Illinois resident myself, I just continuously look enviously over the Mississippi River at the things that are presented for Missouri voters. A Missouri voter I am not, but a congressman from the state of Missouri, Eric Burlison, is, and we wanted to get his take on these major issues. Congressman Burlison, thank you for being with us again today. Looking forward to having this conversation with you.
Always good to be on, Annie.
So I saw you posting, I think it was on X, regarding Amendment 4 and Amendment 5. I'm sure you have opinions about other things that are facing Missouri voters here shortly as well. But let's talk first about Amendment 5, which is the plan to phase out Missouri's income tax. Can you just set the table for us? What is facing the Missouri voter right now? What are they voting for? And how do you encourage them to consider their vote option when they get the chance here?
So I have long been a supporter of a tax system that's called the fair tax, where you stop punishing people and their labor with a tax on your income, and instead, if you're going to fund the government, the best way to do that is through taxing consumption. So, or the destruction of a good. Because that's basically when you tax a consumable is by definition something you purchase that cannot then, that is consumed. And so you want to tax consumption, not productivity. So now keep that in mind. The legislature could today, if they wanted to, I'm not saying they should, but they could, under Hancock, raise the sales tax, the state sales tax, and lower the income tax rate accordingly, as long as they're not collecting more revenue. That is something that the state legislature has the authority to do today under Hancock. What this amendment would do is actually give them the ability and mandate that the legislature is required to, as growth comes in, they're required to use that growth to ratchet down the income tax rate. Mm-hmm. It also gives them, now this is where people get kind of hung up, but they leave in place the possibilities that are currently in place today, which is for your local community to add an addition on, put something on the ballot for a sales tax increase. And so because of that, that's got a lot of people who are looking at this and saying, I don't want my sales taxes to increase. Well, guess what? They have the ability to do that today.
Right.
And they're just not taking away that ability in this Amendment 5. So if you want to see your income taxes dramatically go down, now, when talking to the state lawmakers, if this passes, they've got options. They can ratchet down the income tax and let it just slowly ratchet down over a period of about 20 to 25 years and not even touch sales tax. If they wanted to accelerate it and increase the sales tax by a small amount, they could do that to accelerate the elimination. And I think that the reason for that is that they want to get to a point where they eliminate it altogether, because there will become a point where the juice isn't worth the squeeze, where you've got a mechanism in place where you have, maybe you're still collecting 1 or 2% income tax,
Mm-hmm.
and forcing people to go through all the laborious work of filing tax returns, when you could simply just have a mechanism that just ends it and closes the door on it. And so to me, this is a very, very conservative measure, Amendment 5. And I think if you are a fiscal hawk, if you're a fiscal conservative, you should really be on board with this.
Okay, so Congressman Burlison talking to us right now about Amendment 5, which is the no state income tax question facing Missouri voters on August 4th. My understanding is that maybe early voting maybe some absentee ballot or something is starting today. I'm looking at a Post-Dispatch article right now, stltoday.com, and I'm just going to read from it regarding the income tax concern that some people have. And I've seen this be part of the discussion when people are talking about the benefits of or the consequences of eliminating the state income tax. From the Post-Dispatch, the Missouri Special Districts Association said one part of the fallout could be the enactment of a tax on real estate transactions. The organization said that could further deepen anti-property tax sentiment among voters, resulting in uncertainty about local tax increases. So you're talking a lot about, so far, the impact on sales tax. What about property taxes or the real estate tax that could be imposed?
Right. So in general, the question people should be asking is, if you're fiscal conservative, we generally want to broaden the tax base and keep the tax rates low, so that everybody pays. And so I think that this gives that ability, but it doesn't. But at the end of the day, that would have to be something that would have to pass the legislature. And I strongly doubt that that's something that would even fly through even one chamber of the legislature.
So to wrap up,
so I would say it's not even. I would say it's really not plausible. It's not something that would happen.
Okay. So on Amendment 5, Congressman Burlison, you're encouraging Missouri voters to vote
yes.
Yes. Burlison is a yes on 5. Let's transition here over to Amendment 4, making it, this is the St. Louis Post-Dispatch headline, Amendment 4 would make it harder to change Missouri Constitution, but not for lawmakers. Talk to me about Amendment 4. Simplest terms you can provide it to our listeners right now. What does Amendment 4 do, and how would you encourage that voters consider voting on that issue?
Okay, so Amendment 4, the simplest way to put this is that it makes it very similar to the way in which we amend the United States Constitution. So if you think about it, we've only had a handful of amendments. You can put the United States Constitution in your coat pocket. It's pretty simple. It's concise. You can't do that with the Missouri Constitution. It's hundreds of pages. It's got things like, as has been said, bingo. You've got the Prop C. Over the years, you've had liberal groups from outside of the state of Missouri, funded by billionaires that never have even stepped foot in Missouri, that are funding these efforts to put on the ballot, ballot candy. That sounds great, but it's wrapped in all this liberal agenda. And that's how we've gotten things like, for example, Prop C, which was the big climate change bill that was passed in the early 2000s. You had I'm sorry, I'm blanking, but basically an anti-agriculture, anti-animal agriculture bill that passed under the auspices of a puppy, calling it we're banning puppy mills, but it was really an anti-animal agriculture bill.
So
you had there's been just consistently, like, you have liberals that continue to raise the minimum wage in Missouri, which eliminates jobs and makes it harder for small businesses and people to work, and it makes it more expensive for everyone. So you have all of this liberal agenda that unfortunately gets done and accomplished, even though we are a very red state. And it's all deceptive, the way that they do it. So this ends that practice. It makes it so that they still have the ability, if they want to change the Missouri statute, but we don't want to make it so easy to change the Missouri Constitution. And so, once those things are in, once bingo is in the Constitution, it ain't coming out. Once all of this liberal crap is in the Constitution, it ain't coming out. So you want to make it harder for things to go in the Constitution, and that's what this Amendment 4 will do. But at the same time, people still have the same authority to be able to pass something, put it in the Missouri statute, your will be done and expressed, and then just like in the United States Constitution, there's provisions where you can pass it and put it in the Missouri Constitution. You just need to overcome a greater threshold.
Right. Congressman Burlison from Missouri's 7th Congressional District talking to us now. I mean, I'm from the outside looking in. As you know, Congressman, I live in the People's Republic of Illinois, just 20 minutes from here, right across the river. I can see the arch from my front porch, just like Sarah Palin and Russia. I am looking at this Amendment 4, and to me, it looks like a way for people who live in a solid red state to subvert the Democratic Republic Jefferson City representation that has been sent there to do the bidding and the will of the people. This seems like a way for the leftists in the state of Missouri to subvert what Jefferson City is comprised of so that they can still get things done. It just kind of steps on the idea of the republic that we are. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, the current situation, yes. The current situation is that we have that happening today, and it's happening on every one of our ballots. You have these people that come, and whether you go to the library or the grocery store, these people that are usually hippies, paid by some leftist group, are hanging out there trying to collect your signatures, and that's what I'm talking about. And so they're all there to pass their liberal agenda in a very red state. And what we're saying is, you can pass your liberal agenda. It's just going to go in the statutes and not in the Constitution, which is something that should be a little bit more sacred and protected.
Yeah. So, Congressman Burlison, on Amendment 4, you are encouraging voters to vote.
Yes.
All
absolutely,
right.
Yes.
So Amendment 4 and Amendment 5, Congressman Burlison recommends a yes vote. Before we let you go, Congressman, is there anything else that you would like to speak to as far as our Missouri listeners right now? This August 4th primary is coming up here. Are there any other main issues that you want to make sure people turn their attention to?
Look, when we get to primary time, we often get disappointed. And I would say for those of you that are listening, sometimes you get disappointed with the Republicans. The answer lies in the August primary. So do your homework. Go look at the voting records of the people that are on the ballot. Look at what they're like, really find out what they stand for, and vote for the people that do your homework, and so that you know who you're going to vote for before you go to the polls. It's extremely important.
Well, we appreciate your time today. We look forward to getting you back on here to continue to talk about the issues facing Missourians, but also nationally in Congress. We are always grateful for your time, Congressman Burlison. Thanks for being with us again today.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Congressman Burlison here to give you a little bit of perspective on Amendment 4 and Amendment 5. He says vote yes. Again, 3 Illinois voters sitting in this room. I don't know that I should be telling you how to vote on these things. It's your state. Clearly, take advice from the Illinois. I wouldn't.
Well,
it's not really a good endorsement from me and my show.
It is. It's just that you vote for the people in Illinois that Chicago and Cook County don't vote for.
That's true. And the fake ballots.
And the what?
Fake ballots?
Oh, the fake ballots.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just assuming.
I mean, we can presume based on the historical context of Chicago.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like all these other places who are under a microscope probably learned from Illinois. And Illinois seems so far gone that they're like,
yeah.
Whatever. You know what you can do? You can keep J.B. Pritzker in the cage that is Illinois and keep him from the rest of the 49 states. Like we're doing some sort of patriotic service. It feels like servitude.
Except during COVID. Then you can't keep him within Illinois at all.
I hate you. Guys, we got a banger of a poll today. And by that, I mean on a scale of 1 to 4 poops, how concerned are you about Cyclospora? How many poops do you give?
A lot of texts coming in on this.
I'm a 4 poops.
Okay.
I'm terrified of Cyclospora. And I have to say, today, the YouTube thumbnail for today's show is my favorite YouTube thumbnail that AI has ever generated for our show. If you haven't seen it yet, you're going to want to come check it out. It's really quite something. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan smartest phone call you can make if you were looking to purchase a home or refinance your current home. Oh my gosh, this is like such a no-brainer. Go call him or text him and then decide for yourself, yeah, okay, this is the right move for us. It's going to be. I twice have refied with Stewie. One time, just a straight up refi, got a much lower rate. The second time, lowered the rate even more, took cash out to replace the deck on our house. Both times, Bagel Loan, 0 closing costs. Customer and myself have gone through the process, no closing costs. Now, right now, if you're looking to purchase a new home and you're going to use a 30-year loan, he is offering you for the first year of that 30-year loan a 1% discount on the rate that you're going to pay. That's a lot of money you can save, and you get to pair it up with the Bagel Loan. Stewie's just a nice guy. He actually is a really nice guy. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. He's waiting for your phone call. He's waiting for your text message, millennials. And you can get the conversation started right now. He can close in less than 2 weeks. Google the Bagel Loan for more information and MLS number 226-715.
License number GL250000615.
You're cooking dinner. The lights go out. You flip the breaker and forget about it.
But what if it keeps tripping?
Trips once, your breaker's doing its job. Keeps tripping? That's a warning. Bad wiring or something worse.
Do people just keep flipping it?
Most do, until they can't anymore.
Call Grasser. We'll stop the trip.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
For State Senate, I like Mike. Mike Deering knows what a hard day's work looks like because he's done it his whole life.
I like Mike. He's a dad. He knows what our families are up against.
Mike Deering's a businessman. He knows what red tape actually costs.
I like Mike because Mike Deering stands with President Trump. Secure the border, cut our taxes, put Missouri first.
I'm Mike Deering. Career politicians spend more and tax more while your family gets squeezed. I'll lower your taxes, keep your money in your pockets, and cut government waste so deep it'll make the politicians squeal.
Mike Deering, farmer, small business owner, dad, conservative. I like Mike.
I like Mike.
I like Mike.
For State Senate, I like Mike. Mike Deering. On Tuesday, August 4th, vote Republican Mike Deering for State Senate. Make common sense conservative leadership common again. Paid for by friends of Mike Deering. Megan Kaiser, Treasurer.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Nervous about your retirement accounts or bank accounts? Turn to the Crest Report every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon and learn more about precious metals. Golden Crest Metals. GoldenCrestMetals.com.
All right, the YouTube live chat poll today is on a scale of 1 to 4. How concerned are you about Cyclospora? And your options are just emojis. The number 1 is 1 poop. Number 2 is 2 poops. 3 is 3 poops. 4 is 4. And,
for what?
4 poops.
Thank you.
And the FCC is making me say poops because I don't think that's what the intention is with those.
I just want to
emojis.
add here, Rhonda on YouTube says, I give 0 poops.
That's not an option, though. You have to vote for one of those.
This is the rest of the... you guys might explain this to me. I have braces and haven't had a salad since I got them. Okay.
That's a ridiculous
That's
comment.
the solution. Everybody go and get your braces on right
Here's
now.
a comment from
Straight
the text.
teeth and no parasite.
Right. Okay, from the text line, this says, I'm only concerned because of the timing. My son gets married next Saturday, and with my luck, I'm a prime target.
Oh.
If you want to...
Just don't eat vegetables.
If you know,
Uncooked
if you wanna
vegetables.
Send in a text to the text line, 314-241-9797. And you can vote by looking us up on YouTube and voting there and leaving a comment, too.
I really screwed up by not putting 0 poops on there.
Yeah, you probably should have.
Should have. You got to comment it or text us. But just consider one poop. That's just a normal
That's
healthy.
the lowest.
That's a normal healthy day.
Right. That's just a nice regular day. 12:39. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Did you guys talk a lot about the daylight savings time thing while I was gone?
No, I think you guys did. I was gone, and you guys had that as a topic.
Yeah,
one
we
day.
did. Yeah, we did a poll on that one day. But
How did that? What was the poll and how to go? How many poops did people give?
well, the question was, do you support ending daylight savings time change? Do you support ending time changes? And it was yes.
Daylight savings time.
Yes, keep standard time. Yes, keep daylight saving time. And then no, the changes are fine.
And what happened?
It was about split evenly, 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3.
That's the problem with any of those polls. They always end up that way.
These don't. It's too hard to even talk about.
Yeah, because somebody will go, oh, it's not daylight savings time.
I saw a redraw of the time zones, suggested redraw of it, and it kind of took the central time zone from Texas up through. All I care about, this is the only thing I care about. This is because it's just about me. Is that Illinois and Missouri are the same?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not working in Missouri.
No.
And living in Illinois.
No, that's not possible.
If they're on time zone differences.
Yeah, I don't care about cutting right through Kentucky. But
Forget
it cannot cut the Mississippi
It can
River.
go up and down through Kentucky for all I care.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not doing it. But it took the time zone and it went like through Texas, up through Illinois, and Missouri and Illinois, and then maybe over to Wisconsin or something like Wisconsin and Michigan. But Iowa and the Dakotas were like mountain time because they don't want to be, since they're so much further north, they don't want it to be dark all the time. Well, I don't care. I don't care about them.
Yeah.
Not right now. Not when it's just about me. Right? And you.
Well, that's the idea of a poll. You're answering for yourself.
Well, apparently the whole effort, here's another reason. I quit trying to dive into it and have an opinion on it because it never goes anywhere. We have these big fights. People say popular things right when the time change is about to come up. And then it just goes away and it's Christmas. Also, I like the time change. I like the dark early, and I'm one of 4 people on the planet who does. But it makes my kids go to bed earlier easily. Fox News reporter Alex Miller, President Donald Trump wants Congress to pass legislation that would give Americans a break from a twice-yearly nuisance. But the sun will likely set on the push in the Senate.
Oh, that's a play on words.
Good job, Alex Miller. Where the issue is deeper than politics, the House passed its bill, the Sunshine Protection Act. She got the Democrats to vote for that. Last week to allow states to voluntarily observe daylight saving times year-round. Saving time. But the legislation is hitting a brick wall in the Senate. And it's not the party aisle that's defining the debate. It's a horizontal line running through the United States that divides northern states. It's a north-south thing.
Oh, really? Haven't seen that since the 1860s.
Where's Blinken when you need him?
Yep.
I said Blinken.
Yeah, you did.
I was going to say Blinken. You know, the guy from Men in Tights.
Yep.
That is an issue in which there are passionate views on both sides, according to John Thune. So we'll see. I mean, the House, having acted on it now, we'll see what the interest level is in the Senate. But I know that there are people who are willing to really slow things down over that issue. Way to say nothing, Thune. That's, yesterday when Schmidt was on, and I asked him, like, is the SAVE Act going to get passed? And I said to him, I was like, listen, I know you're going to tell me why the SAVE Act should pass. And that may be your complete answer. But let's just, for the sake of this conversation, understand that you want the SAVE Act to pass. And I want to know if it's going to. Tell me! And he's like, we should pass it. Which he's being a good politician, I get it. Proponents argue that it's an inconvenience in their states and are hungry for more daylight in the evening, while opponents say that it would force school-age children to be in the dark for the beginning of the day. Yeah. One of the most vocal opponents of the legislation is one of Trump's own allies on Capitol Hill, Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, who last year declared that he would, quote, always oppose efforts for permanent daylight savings time. A source of Cotton's orbit. I hope to one day have an orbit. Or not. I don't know. Is that good? She has her own orbit? That's
we're
not
in your
nice.
orbit. We're your entourage. When you go to events. We'll wear sunglasses and suits next time. And you just wear whatever
Like
you're going to
Men
wear.
in Black?
Yeah.
You're not my entourage.
We're something.
You can't be in my entourage and show up after I show up and leave before I leave.
Fine. I'm joining Tom Cotton's entourage. Cotton's.
Good luck finding that guy. Told Fox News Digital that the lawmaker was, quote, far from the only one who objects to the bill, and noted that the legislation is more of a grandfather clause that requires states to have already passed an observance of permanent standard time before the Sunshine Protection Act becomes law. Hawaii and Arizona are the only two states that, by their own laws, observe permanent standard time, while no states observe a permanent daylight savings time. It's not the only time Congress has tried either. So it's not going anywhere.
Trump's done with it, so I don't think that he's going to do anything either.
I don't think it's an issue that warrants Donald Trump's time.
Well, they had a poll about this, I think, last year, and it may have been Elon Musk that did the poll, and Trump referenced, nobody can make their mind up about this, so I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah, it's just not.
There's no consensus.
You know what is? An 80-20-90-10 issue like the Save America Act and voter ID that should be passed right now, Senate. Thune, Cotton. Cotton. You too, man. I don't care what your name is. Vote for the SAVE Act. Get it done. Secure our elections. Wiggins America next. Here's where I read the topic for the first time today out loud with you. My natural reaction. What couples around 50 fight about most? The expert, Ryan Wiggins, next. Todd Sivia of Sivia Law. If you're a millionaire or not, Sivia Law is there to help you plan your trust. Get it all established, irrevocable trust, whatever it is. You need somebody who knows the game. Missouri and Illinois alike, Sivia Law has offices in both states. This is who planned out the trusts my husband and I have, and they're so reliable. They're so thorough. You go into something like this if you've never done it before, and you're like, gosh, I don't even know. Do I even qualify to have this conversation? Oh my gosh, you're so far past being qualified to have this conversation. It's necessary. And at 833-995-WILL, if you call and schedule an appointment right now in Illinois, Edwardsville, East Alton, Swansea, Centralia, Mount Vernon, and in Missouri, Wentzville and Creve Coeur, you schedule your appointment today. Mention my name and get that initial strategy session, which is a $300 value. Get it free. You just got to throw Annie's name out there and be one of the first 10 callers to 833-995-WILL. Find them online at civialaw.com.
Mark Cox here. Don't be fooled by those deceptive ads you're hearing on Missouri Amendments 4 and 5. Get the truth. I'll explain all of the amendments and key local races. Download my August voter guide at 971talk.com.
Bill, you're an old politician.
Yup, sure am.
So you know the old-timers warned that someone trying to sell you a pig in a poke was a con man.
Well, sure.
Well, no offense, Tom, but your politician's Amendment 5 is a pig in a poke, allowing politicians to raise our taxes without a vote of the people, and the politician's Amendment 4 takes away our power to do anything about it. Well, let's look at what's really inside 4 and 5.
Oh, don't do that.
5 hits hardest seniors and those struggling financially with new taxes on services like doctor visits, in-home care, and rent. Sales taxes could more than triple. For up to 80% of Missourians, it's a tax hike. And Amendment 4 ends majority rule, allowing a minority of the most liberal statewide voters in one district to effectively end our power to stop corruption and out-of-control spending and taxing.
Slick plan, huh?
No, Tom. 4 and 5 are schemes that hurt citizens and transfer our power and our money to politicians and lobbyists. That's why I'm voting no on the politicians' Amendments 4 and 5, paid for by Missourians for fair government. limits.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Wiggins!
Oh, Wiggins!
This is a consensus of psychologists who've come up with what couples around
Is it
50,
like the dentists? Like 4 out of 5?
Like 4 out of 5 say you should brush your teeth.
Yeah.
The fourth one's like, or the fifth one's like, why don't you just come see me more
No,
often?
fifth one's a hippie.
Yeah. This is what couples around the age of 50 fight about the most. Now, none of us are 50 years old.
Yeah, you're 60. It's crazy.
I know. But we're closer to 50 than we were
You shut your mouth.
when we started our career.
Than yesterday? By definition of science
By
and
yesterday.
time,
Yeah.
physics.
And the funny thing is that money did not make this list. So there is no real, like, you'd think that would be at least part of some of the answers or anything. But money is not on this list because hopefully if you're approaching 50 or you're over 50, you at least have a good idea of what you make and you know your lifestyle. So the number one thing that couples over 50 fight about, or around 50 fight about, is boundaries with loved ones. Does that surprise you?
What does that mean?
So this could be your kids or your in-laws or your kids' spouses or anybody of that nature, boundaries with them. Somebody's saying, oh, we should have them over more often, or maybe they even live with us.
Who's getting a phone call?
It's me.
It's your wife telling you you're wrong.
Yeah, it's my wife coming in from Toronto on a train.
You're not going to answer it?
It's not actually her. It's spam.
Oh, so she's going to be mad at you.
She's coming at the end of the show. So, yeah, just boundaries with loved ones. Is this an issue that you find yourself dealing with more and more as you approach 50?
Why are you laughing like that?
Because I framed it that way.
No. I feel like my husband and I have pretty understanding. I mean, we have great relationships with our family. So, I don't know. Maybe people have issues with us. I don't feel like I have that problem. Brad?
I don't have that problem. I have great in-laws, and we don't really have like adult children that would be, something that my wife would be interfering in their lives that would cause strife or something like that. So that's not one for us.
I could see once you have kids who are either seriously dating or married, that could be an issue where maybe the spouse wants you to back off or be more involved or whatever. I could see that issue happening.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting to the place where I'm starting to think about, like, because there are people, I don't know, you see weddings in my Facebook feed, and this is how life goes, I guess. But when I see weddings in my Facebook feed, all of a sudden I'm kind of identifying with the parents of the people who are getting married.
I know.
Not the bride, not the sister, not the best friend. It's like now all of a sudden my brain's like, you're not really that generation anymore. You're that generation.
I had that realization this weekend.
When
I was
you were the
watching
pastor with your fly down?
No. That was completely separate. That was just fun. We were all just having a great time. Nice and breezy that day.
Info Dude did comment on the YouTube channel that phone call was someone telling you your flight was down.
No, it was not. It was
How do you
definitely
know?
spam.
How do you know
it
your
said potential spam on the top.
Are you going to check your fly?
No, I'm not. The camera
really
can't see my fly.
I really wish
you
you
guys
would.
can't see my fly. I'm just going to sit here and let it hang and not know.
What? Next. Moving on.
But I watched a movie this weekend that was, I think the intended audience was probably like 20s to teens.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an older movie.
High School Musical?
I don't remember what it was. It was something like a horror movie with that genre in mind, or that age demographic.
Horror.
They made a joke, like the kids made a joke at the teacher's expense, and I went, that was really disrespectful of that teacher. and I was like, wait a minute, I used to think that was funny. All right, next one, if you're around 50 years old, issues you might be having with your spouse is retirement differences. Not that you are there yet, but planning for retirement, and this is not to do with money. This has everything to do with lifestyle. What are you going to do in retirement? How are you going to approach retirement? Are you going to do it at the same time? That kind of stuff. Are we talking about these things at all yet? Probably not. We're not there.
Jared and I talk about what retirement's going to look like all the time, and we are pumped.
You're just dreaming, though.
Yeah. See, I work in radio, so I could retire any day.
Is that a forced retirement?
It's not a chosen one.
Okay.
That's just how it goes. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I look forward to retirement, working hard to save and sacrifice for retirement. He's a teacher, and so he's got one of those really handy Illinois pensions that won't be there when he retires. But we talk about what that was like, and that was one particular thing about retirement that my husband and I, when we decided we did want to have kids early, I had Charlie when I was 25 years old. That's crazy. But we thought, let's have kids young so that when we retire, our kids are grown. Like, we don't have any money now. Maybe we can try to save and have some money then. We'll retire younger, not have to have kids around, on a day-to-day basis when we're older and live it up. So we're kind of pumped about it. What about you, Brad?
Terry's going to retire in 2 years so it's 2 more years of teaching.
Wow.
She's retired.
You guys are there.
And what is the tiers, whatever the tier is?
Tier 1.
She's tier 1.
Jared is not.
So,
yeah.
That money should be there, but we're planning like it's not going to be.
Oh, you're going to get your money. Oh, my gosh. They'll just borrow it from your paycheck.
Yeah.
From your future.
And Terry's paycheck.
When I was subbing, I was paying into the TRS.
Yeah, but you still get
that. No, I don't. Because I didn't sub long enough.
Oh,
what a shame.
So they just took the money.
Well, you still get Social Security, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am practicing for retirement by once in a while. I just lay there on the couch and I go, somebody fill my cup.
Does that work? Does somebody do it?
Yeah, somebody usually does. Come change me.
Ew.
Gross.
Another one we're going to sneak in.
That's a phrase you say on the show more often than anybody would believe.
Look at today's poll question, and you're blaming me.
There's a
The
parasite.
options are 1 through 4 poops.
Yeah, it's clever. That's why they pay me.
And you're like, ew, don't say change me.
The average bucks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Look, you can just have the last 20 seconds of Wiggins America to do
I've got nothing to say.
Promotion of the YouTube channel.
I fight with you more than I fight with my husband.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
And likewise for me.
But we're making money off of it.
Yeah, at least we're...
High five. Hey. All right. Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano next on the show. And Joe Gruters, the chairman of the RNC in the 1 o'clock hour. Don't go away.
Real estate market in the country, Stewie. What can buyers in St. Louis do to gain that advantage with you?
You know what, Mark? It's real simple. Number one, the Bagel loan. Bagel looks like a 0, easy to remember. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. The Big Bagel looks like a 0, easy to remember. Take that money you're saving, add it to the bid, beat all the other offers out. Number 2, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. What does that mean? We pre-approve you for the maximum amount that you qualify for. You can then go into our portal and edit the letter and raise it or lower it to any amount you want up to the amount you pre-approved. No waiting for the loan officer, no waiting for anybody else. It's all in your hands. And the third thing, we can close in 10 days. That's a big deal. If you go to the seller and say, hey, here's my offer. It may not be the best, but we can close quick. Everybody else is 30 days out. You know it's going to happen quickly with our reputation. Big bam boom, you got the house of your dreams.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the Bagel Loan. NMLS number 226715.
Air Comfort Service, online at aircomfortservice.com. It is hot and the Dickens outside. Is that a phrase?
Careful.
A Dickens.
Careful.
Hot as the Dickens.
FCC's listening.
I know. I'm happy about it. We need them. We need all the listeners we can get.
Just
Air
don't say
Comfort.
Dickens.
Dickens. It's that hot. I don't know what that means. If your air conditioner's not doing what it needs to do, you need to get it looked at. Air Comfort Service is ready to come answer that phone call, 314-513-0091, and get it up and running once again. Of course, at the end of that inspection, maybe you end up needing to replace it. If you're a homeowner and you're living in the St. Louis area, go to the website, aircomfortservice.com/repair or replace, and you'll be able to check out their tool that gives you a quote. So you have an idea, ballpark idea of what you might be looking at, because I know that number is the scary number. You get that information right up front, but you can call them to talk to them about making a house call if you need it. You can't be in this heat without the right proper AC. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Homeowners, a lot of you are worried about one thing when it comes to selling. That's leaving money on the table. Hey, it's Mark Cox, and I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, how do you help sellers make sure they're getting top dollar?
The reality is, most homes don't sell for what they should. I see it happen all the time. They either price it wrong or they don't create enough demand. But with over 2,400 buyers in my buyers in waiting database and my exclusive pricing strategy, I'm able to offer my seller a 100% market value guarantee. And if I can get you 100% of your home's market value, I'll pay you the difference. So you don't have to wonder if you left money on the table. You can sell with confidence, knowing you maximize your sale.
Make sure you get every dollar for your home. Call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888 or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Haven't seen anything yet. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That warning from President Trump to Iran.
We have done damage that will take them 20, 25 years to recover from. So if we left tomorrow, we had a big success. But we're not leaving tomorrow.
As fighting continues along the Strait of Hormuz, the president telling reporters the U.S. will soon hit a suspected nuclear site and that the U.S. will take care of business if Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen follow through on threats to blockade ships in another critical strait. All of this during an Oval Office meeting with Lebanon's president.
And we are going to solve a lot of problems. We've already solved some of them for Lebanon.
Lebanon and Israel have a new framework aimed at stopping Iran-backed militants in southern Lebanon from launching attacks on Israel.
There's a Hezbollah problem, but we've done some things that I think the world will take notice.
The president saying the two leaders would discuss reports that Israeli forces had fired in the early stages of a pilot program for Lebanese forces to move in as Israel withdraws. President Trump says the upcoming midterm elections do not affect his actions with Iran, but the conflict and the deaths of at least 3 more U.S. service members since Friday are part of the Democrat criticism of the president.
They died because Donald Trump and his rubber stamp Republicans entered a war of choice with no strategy.
House Democratic Caucus Vice Chair Ted Lieu also accusing the administration of a lack of planning and defensive munitions. The War Secretary and Joint Chiefs Chair due before a Senate hearing later this hour, defending the president's request for an additional $87 billion in funding as the president weighs expanded operations, while also still saying the door remains open to diplomacy if Iran is ready to meet in a meaningful way. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft.
I thought it was safe.
If that happens, LifeLock gives you a U.S.-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims, your agent handles it all. In fact, we're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Isn't it nice to have someone like that on your side? Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
and the Abraham Accords, Lebanon still enforces a 1955 law criminalizing contact with Israel for over 70 years. You previously stated you would push Lebanon on this issue. And there is some people still going to prison last month. So did you raise it you will raise it with President Trump?
Well, the Abraham Accords have been, I think, a tremendous success. I think you're going to see a lot of countries joining pretty soon. As you know, we have our original group, and it's so successful for them, economically successful. It's been that nobody left, even during this time of conflict. So, no, I think Lebanon has a very important place.
President Trump speaking about Lebanon and the Abraham Accords, and this is a very interesting development that could be happening here. Lebanon, of course, at the White House today. What is this all about? And I think that the first question that we need to set the table with is, what are the Abraham Accords? We've talked about them quite a bit, but it's important to understand what they are and the success that they have been in order to understand the impact that Lebanon's relationship here could possibly be. Let's welcome retired Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano onto the show, Senior Counselor to Heritage President Kevin Roberts and E.W. Richardson Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Welcome back to the show. Jim, it's good to have you with us. Can you talk to us about the Abraham Accords in general, but also the presence of Lebanon at the White House today, what kind of impact that could have?
Yeah, so the Abraham Accords was a great band from the 60s. No, it's a different.
You got me.
So this was actually an initiative in the first Trump administration, and it was actually a concept that he came into office, which was the idea is that, we want regions to be more self-sufficient and self-reliant. That not only reduces the burden of the United States on its global leadership, but it creates more resilient, more useful partners for America. And so, one of the things that's held the Middle East back forever is there's always been this lack of a common purpose between Israel and their Arab neighbors. I mean, they only have a formal peace agreement with the Egyptians. The idea is moving beyond just peace agreement. Working on collective security, economic integration and development, political and diplomatic agenda that's harmonized. And that is the goal of the Abraham Accords. And there's the Isaac Accords, which is a association of Israel with Latin American countries, kind of similar concept. And so very much, it's in the same vein as we told the Europeans, like, hey, you have to be as interested in the freedom and security and prosperity of Europe as we are. I mean, I think it's the same message for the Middle East. And what's significant is the president made some progress on the first administration. The Biden administration basically kind of did nothing. But the president came back into office. He wanted to add momentum to the Abraham Accords, so it's continued to be a priority. But here's what's been the big difference. The war against Iran has taken off the table everything that allows Iran to be the big bully in the region. And the United States has only demonstrated that this is not a 10-foot tall enemy. This is a country with clay feet. But we've significantly reduced all the things that made the Iranians a threat to the other neighbors in the region. That has created the opening space for countries to really kind of elevate themselves and reassert themselves. And not only has it been, the prospects for alignment with Kuwait and Bahrain, Oman and Qatar and UAE and Saudi Arabia, but it's, taking countries which really essentially are failed states and parts of countries that are failed states like Gaza and Lebanon and Syria and making them self-sufficient, productive countries that aren't under the sway and influence of the Iranians. And getting the Lebanese to the table with the Israelis to start talking about how do we have a free country that isn't dominated by Hezbollah, which is nothing more than a puppet of the Iranians. That's hugely important. And when I think I've said this on your show, is everybody's fixating on what's happening in the war, which is exactly the wrong thing. These guys have already lost. What we ought to be fixating is we have pummeled the Iranians into a trench. What are the things we should be doing now to take advantage of that? And topping the list is the reconstruction of Gaza and Lebanon and Syria. So we take regions that were the problem, were the open running sores of the Middle East, and we turn them into productive parts of that community. And that's why what's going on in Lebanon and Syria today is so important. And we should not just, one, it wouldn't be happening if not for Trump's success in Iran. But two is if we don't take advantage to do these things, then we have squandered all the advances we made in Iran.
Yeah. Jim Carafano speaking with us right now. I'm going to ask a stupid question. You make me feel comfortable to ask my stupid questions. So I'm going to throw this one out at you, and you can kind of quantify it for me. But being somebody who was 17 years old when 9/11 happened, I was a senior in high school watching that happen. I don't think I even knew the word terrorism outside of movies.
Right.
But watching that happen, in a moment, that moment transformed everybody's understanding of reality. But it made me feel like a very young adult all of a sudden, as opposed to an old kid. And Syria seemed to come out of that as, in my mind, maybe unintellectually so, as a huge adversary of the United States. And now we're 25 years later, and Syria is in the game. And President Trump has gone to the Middle East and said, I think that a prosperous Syria is good for the world. So things change over the course of time. And I'm looking at all these, like I'm reading here on the Fox News Chiron right now, Trump not ruling out talks with Hezbollah. Is everything changeable if you're willing to try?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, what's going on in Syria today is only possible because of three things. And the answer to all three questions, by the way, is Donald Trump. Is Syria at one point was the ground zero of the ISIS caliphate. It literally was the birthplace of a group that felt that they were actually going to take over the entire region. In his first term, Trump came in and literally annihilated the ISIS. So that's one thing. In the second term, he came back, and the Russians are so weakened because of Ukraine, the U.S. pushing them out of Latin America. And they've essentially had to abandon Syria, which has long been their client state. And the third thing was we just literally annihilated the Iranians, which had built a huge foothold in Syria as a power projection platform to attack Israel. So now all of a sudden Syria went from being a country which was essentially doing the whim of every foreign, because the only reason Assad remained in power in Syria was because of the foreign support he had. So instead of being the playthings of foreigners, Syria had a chance to seize its own future, and Trump's said he's willing to work with them. So things can change, but you know what? Things don't change if you sit on the couch and drink a beer, and just wait for the world to. Things change because you go out and you make the change, and that's what Donald Trump has done.
Yeah. I mean, the word that continues to come to my mind regarding this administration is resolve. And I don't think you can have resolve in the magnitude of what this administration is doing if you don't have a clear-eyed goal. And, I want to ask you that question, like, what is the ultimate goal and success that President Trump is looking to achieve? If he got exactly what he wanted, what would that look like at the end of his term going into the next guy?
Well, it would be the Abraham Accords. It would be the idea that the region can essentially fend for itself, and it can provide collective security and economic development and political and diplomatic integration, and be a deterrent to not just Iran, but to penetration by transnational terrorist groups or the Russians or the Chinese. That would be the perfect outcome. You have to have resolve. I think you're a great point. Resolve and be focused on outcomes. And to be fair, the Bush administration, the Biden administration, they had resolve and they had focused on outcomes, but their resolve was to open the borders, and their outcome was to bring in 20 million illegal aliens. So any White House can do this. Thank God Trump came in and actually wants to do things that are going to make American. I guess it is actually make America great again. Yeah. So good for him.
Another question I have for you, I think, is Nicaragua. leader there says, "Hey, how about no more elections?" I don't know if you have much to say about that story specifically,
Yeah, I have
but
a lot.
but I just think, all the squabbles that we have in the United States of America, and maybe one political party that thinks that we suck as a country on the whole. It seems to be the marketing plan for them. But you do look at these other places; these are, real legitimate countries with borders, and the leaders are like, no more elections. What's it like to be in Nicaragua today?
Well, I think it's the last man standing. I mean, I think when you look at the leftist control, and we just say leftist, we just don't mean that people that don't like conservatives. Yeah. People that were, if you're China and you're showing up, we're happy to take your money. If you're a criminal cartel, we're happy to take your money. If you're Iranians or Islamist terrorists, we're happy to do business with you. If you're the Russians, come on in, right? They would sell out everything in the region and then sell out their entire people. I mean, those are the people that were running the continent 2 years ago. They've lost almost everywhere. They're going to lose a big election in Brazil coming up. And so who's left of this cabal of people who essentially would do business with anybody if it enriched them, and no matter how much impoverishing it was to their people? With Cuba under pressure, the last Yahoo standing is Nicaragua. And so this is not a signal of anything other than desperation. Like, I'm going to just control power forever. So nobody's going to oust me by an election. There's not going to be any resurgence of democracy in my country. Well, that's like putting a target on your face.
Last question before we let you go. Cuba, there's reports here this week that Cuba has infiltrated the United States government and is trying to meddle and just undermine, I suppose, the United States of America. Is that of consequence to you? Is that a report that you hear out in the national media and you're like, duh? Obviously, or what's your reaction to that, especially knowing that Marco Rubio and President Trump have spent a lot of their extra time, of what extra time they have, saying, yeah, Cuba's a problem that needs to be solved as well?
Well, I could have written that report in the 1950s.
It's okay. So tough.
Here's the difference, though, right? Which is it is aligned now with all kinds of other malicious influence, from Islamists to the Chinese to everybody else. And in many ways, it is a conduit and an instrument for them. And so it's actually a much bigger challenge than it's ever been. And taking it off the table is more important. And the other thing is Trump is like a guy that's fighting a gang war, but every day he takes another tool of the gang off the table, the switchblade, the chain, the gun. So, he's taken off and in the end, these guys have nothing to fight with. And if they want to be in America and they want to peddle their wacky, stupid ideas, fine, knock yourself out. But you're going to do it without meddling from the Cubans, without money from China, without influence from the Russians, without, zillionaires like Soros spending dark money to prevent organized political violence in the United States. Then if you want to take us on, come at us. But it's like Batman taking, you take all the bad guys, right? You take Mr. Freeze and the Riddler and the Joker off the table, and then you go to the criminals of Gotham and say, bring it on.
Just in light of what you said there, you could have written that article in the 1950s and so on and so forth. I don't know the answer to this question, but what was President Obama doing in 2016, going to Cuba and being like, hey, everybody, this looks fun? I mean, the optics of what I remember from that visit, if it's known that Cuba has been involved in trying to infiltrate for that long, why would the president of the United States in 2016 go to Cuba and try to make things look normalized?
We can all say, Obama was naive, engaging with the Cubans, sending boatloads of cash to Iran, doing nothing about the Chinese, promising the Russians that after the election, we'd be a lot easier on them. I think when we unpack all of this, Barack Obama was not a naive president who's like Jimmy Carter, who's just trying to be a nice guy in the world and got his face kicked in. Barack Obama was trying to push an agenda that was post-American. And he was always doing that. And the longer he was in the presidency, I think the more the mask slipped away. But he is the ultimate Manchurian candidate. He is the ultimate Quisling. He was never out to do great things for this country. He was out to remake America as part of this world blah blah that he had bought into in college. And I'm sure he laughed every day when people took him seriously when he went up and he said, I care about the United States. I care about the American flag. I care about the American people. I'm just trying to be a nice guy here, the Cubans. And that was all a lie.
Well, he did tell us he wanted to fundamentally transform the United States of America. He got pretty close, I would say. We always appreciate your time, Jim Carafano. Thanks for being with us again today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye. Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano, Senior Counselor to the Heritage President Kevin Roberts, and E.W. Richardson Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. On X, at JJ Carafano. Great follow. Love reading his stuff there. All right, quick break. YouTube poll for today. On a scale of 1 to 4 poops, how concerned are you about Cyclospora? It's a really quality poll today with graphics. So if you go to the YouTube poll on the Annie Frey YouTube live channel, you'll be able to see that and tell us how many poops you give about Cyclospora. I'm terrified. I don't think it's gonna, I'm not terrified like they try to make us scared about COVID. I do not want explosive diarrhea in my house. And I don't think you do either. I don't know if we're taking this seriously enough, but according to the results, you guys are not as concerned as I am. Joe Gruters will join us, the chairman of the RNC, in 10 minutes from right now. We'll be right back. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com is the website. Very excited to let you know that now Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repair is offering you 0% financing for 24 months to get that basement repaired. 314-271-9900. If you've got a leaky basement, you need to call Home Shield Foundation Repair, invite them to your home. They'll look at what you're dealing with and give you an honest assessment of what you need to do to get it fixed once and for all. And with that 24 months 0% financing opportunity, it got a lot more doable because of that. And you can't afford not to do something to fix that water that's making its way into your basement, that's degrading the integrity of your foundation. Make this phone call today and get the conversation started. It doesn't cost you anything to get that estimate done with Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repair. 314-271-9900. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. 5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job. Cut the Bullpack paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Look, I think you can start eating salads again. I think the false positive, I think, is a red herring. The strength of the decision that the FDA made in isolating this particular farm was based on the epidemiological evidence, and it was very strong. I think it was aided by the work that Michigan did to trace back these cases and also the strong supply chain management that Taco Bell had. But the FDA was primarily relying on that epidemiological evidence, tracing the cases back to this particular source. You can question why they included that test result anyway in the statement that they put out. I don't think it was important to the strength of the evidence that they had. But the fact that it was a false positive, I think, doesn't change the balance of the equation.
So there you have the former FDA commissioner, Dr. Scott Gottlieb, on Squawk Box CNBC talking about the Cyclospora situation. And boy, are people having opinions on this. I don't, in my mind, consider Cyclospora and COVID in the same category at all. Do you feel like this is something that is being pushed upon people? Do you feel like this is a government-induced fear tactic? Do you connect those two things?
Not government. I do think that there is a lot of overblown coverage of this by the media.
By this show.
Yeah. Well, we are responding to that, is my opinion, because there is a lot of talk about it.
It's just the symptom. That's the only thing that I'm really worried
Yeah,
about.
I know. I know.
And I'm super happy that it's a parasite and not a virus. You can't catch it.
You got to ingest it. Is it like a little wormy? Or what is it?
It's a parasite, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a worm?
I don't know. Ask my mom. She's a microbiologist. She doesn't have it. I don't think. I haven't talked to her today.
Well, I'll find out.
Cyclospora parasite.
Cyclospora. Okay, some texts that have come in the last few minutes. One says, I got Cyclospora early from tacos. 20 minutes, sick as a dog. 1 hour later, fine. I don't think that's Cyclospora, though. And it says, stay away from foreign lettuce, David from Maryland Heights. That just sounds like you had
Chef Gruel says on, he was going in hard on this when they reported it was Taylor Farms, and they're like, oh, actually, maybe not. And then they were like, but maybe.
Yeah.
But he was saying that these vegetables that are, you eat them fresh, so you think, real fresh.
Mm-hmm.
These vegetables that are grown they're like, you go to Mexico, you're on a nice vacation, paying a lot of money to be there, but they still tell you not to drink the water. But if you're growing things out of the ground, Gruel was saying, like, you don't eat that. Don't eat anything that's in a bag. No bagged anything.
In Mexico or in United States?
Here, because it's imported from places where the ground is contaminated. That's what they're saying. I don't know nothing. I just know that I'm afraid of lettuce right now. We're big salad eaters in our house every night for dinner. Salad. Because all of the kids eat it. We have all the toppings that they put on it to make sure that they eat a big plate of salad. And I'm like, kids, we're done with vegetables. And they looked at me like, Mom, you okay?
Wait, are you done with all salad or just lettuce salad? Because you could have a spinach salad.
Like a macaroni salad?
Kale salad.
No.
You could have a chicken salad.
No. No leafy greens right now.
No leafy greens.
I'm not making good decisions. I'm making decisions out of fear.
That's exactly why I want to talk about this, because I don't like the hype about these kind of things. This is exactly the way I was at the beginning of COVID, and everybody was worried about it, and everybody was worried about me because of cystic fibrosis.
Everybody was worried about you except for you.
Except for me, exactly.
But you didn't know that it was like a respiratory...
I did know that, and I thought this is overblown. And guess what? I was right, and the whole world was wrong.
You were not. It was dangerous at first when they didn't know how to treat it.
Okay, it was dangerous at first, like basically any other respiratory virus looking back. It did not kill more than any other respiratory virus. You could look at the worst years in the last 30 years, and it was among the sort of like top percentage.
I don't know
but
that
not
it's
worse.
the virus, it's the way it was being treated is, I think, the reason why it was so destructive to our culture. But if you would have gotten sick, you would have been somebody who would have been prone to being devastated by that more, just like everything. You get a cold, Ryan, and it's worse than if I get a cold.
That's true, and I feel like I might be getting one now. The problem is I did get COVID, and I got through it just like everybody else did.
Yeah.
I got it multiple times, and I got the first strain, too. It wasn't even like a later strain. Anyway.
Brad says shut up.
Brad says shut up, so
enough of you.
Got to wrap it up.
Joe Gruters will be with us when we come back here, chairman of the RNC. We're asking you on a scale of 1 to 4 poops, how many poops do you give? He's not on the line yet. No, he's not.
No, hurry up. Oh, now
crap,
you're
he is. We gotta go to a break. How concerned are you about Cyclospora? Y'all aren't terribly concerned. Guys, I got 6 people in my house. We cannot have explosive diarrhea. Let's talk about important things with the chairman of the RNC next. Don't go away.
Let's just face it, right? Your home should work for you, not against you. Hi, it's Kim, and if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesidearty.com today to start your dream renovation.
I'm Attorney General Catherine Hanaway, and I want to welcome you to Missouri for the Matches. We are on alert for human trafficking. It's often in plain sight. It's people who seem isolated, controlled, or who don't have their ID or money. To share a tip, download the Simply Report app or call 1-833-5-BE-SAFE. We need your help to stop human trafficking.
Sponsored by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Men, are you just not feeling it? Could be your testosterone. U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters helps men experiencing loss of energy. Patients are excited about feeling great, having energy, improved libido. Plus, they love the staff and the fact that they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333. USMen'sMedicalCenter.com.
I know it's a ways away, but Brian Kilmeade's coming to town in November, the 21st of November for the stage and book tour. Check it out at 971talk.com/events and get tickets now. Get the best seats. It is 1:33. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly, heating, air conditioning, electrical, and plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You know, they see a speaker who has no shame and who is pushing forward bills that are going to hurt the American people, like the SAVE Act, which isn't going to save anyone. In fact, it would prevent a lot of women from being able to vote, and it would put our identity at risk if you now have to send in a copy of your ID with your mail-in ballot.
So there is a congresswoman from California, Democrat Sidney Kamlager-Dove, saying that women are not going to be able to vote as easily if the SAVE Act actually gets passed. Nobody would be saved by this, and women would be burdened. Does America need the SAVE Act? I think we heard Senator Schmidt yesterday on the show saying, yeah, it needs the Save America Act, but can we get it done? Let's speak with the chairman of the RNC, Joe Gruters, joins us now. Joe, thank you for the time today. It's great to have you on the show with us.
Yeah, thanks, Annie. Appreciate you having me on.
I am a woman, and I am worried about my vote being stolen away from me by the mean Republicans. Am I smart enough to vote in an election if the Save America Act passes?
Think of what a stupid thing to say that Congresswoman just said. I mean, she's as dumb as bricks. The fact that she would say that's insulting to all women, and it's disappointing. And she should be called out for it, because the Save America Act is widely supported by, I think, over 80% of Americans who basically just want a safe and secure election. You know, the bottom line is, should people other than Americans have the right to vote in America? Should we allow our elections to be determined by people that don't have a legal right to be here or live here? And the answer to that is no.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that this is where the Democrats are planting their flag, trying to block this common sense legislation from moving forward.
I think, just on a side note here, that it would benefit leftist women who are unmarried or don't take their husband's names, but who am I to judge here? I am married, and I did take my husband's last name. Joe Gruters with us here, the chairman of the RNC. I am asking myself, what's the process here if the Save America Act passes? You know, we talk on a surface level here how it would be more complicated because women change their names, birth certificates, voter ID, all of that. What is the process? Should the Save America Act pass? What would people have to do to be appropriately registered to vote?
Well, listen, they'd have to go down to their voter registration offices, which a lot of people already are. And if you haven't provided that information yet, you'd have to provide it. And it's not hard. It's not easy. If you don't have something, it's very easy to go through the website or call your local congressman up to help. They can walk you through it. But it's simple stuff. Most people have IDs. Most people have proof that they were born here, like a birth certificate. And those that don't, it's not common sense. It's not hard to get it. And there's going to be lots of ways for people to help.
Yeah, I feel like maybe, I don't know if it's possible to, but through like when you file your taxes or something, to check a box that has all of your identification, your social security and everything that proves that you're a citizen, that maybe there are some implementations where there are multiple ways for people to get registered as citizens of this country with the voter ID that is going to match the name and everything. But it is possible, and you have to ask yourself, are you willing to do a little bit of work to protect the greatest country on the face of the planet, the United States of America? Do we have evidence that there are non-citizens voting in this country? Yes or no?
We do. There's actually 270,000 non-citizens that are registered right now, and that's one of the things that the president delivered in his his speech last week. And you know what's interesting? I've read this, and it said that Olive Garden is running some all-you-can-eat pasta special. I don't know if you saw this, but it requires you to have a ID, a picture ID. So if it's good enough for Olive Garden, it should be good enough for our voting. I mean, it's completely insane and backwards that these Democrats want to, like I said, block common sense, reasonable protections, because having a safe and secure election is fundamental to our democracy. But that's what they're trying. These guys are willing to do whatever it takes to hold on to control and power, and that's what it is. It's sad, and they should be called out.
Joe Gruters speaking with us. I know you're the chairman of the RNC, but this is not a red-blue issue. This is a bipartisan, wildly supported issue between Republicans and Democrats, white people, people of color, every demographic. The way you slice and dice it, people are like, yeah, you should be a citizen and show an ID to vote. It's just pretty simple. And you got to figure, if you were going to try to reach across the aisle, if you're a Democrat or Republican, and you wanted to do the will of the people, that this would be an obvious area to do that.
Not if you're in charge and you're trying to hold on to power. And that's what this is all about. The Republican National Committee handles most of the election integrity on the conservative side. We have, I think, 150 or 60 lawsuits right now in 36 states. We're bringing the hammer everywhere we can because every single day the Democrats are trying to cheat some way, and we got to stop it. We are stopping it. We've had a lot of election integrity wins, but it never ends because these guys are slippery. Like I said, it's for them, the end justifies the means, and so they're literally willing to do whatever it takes. We have to fight back. We have to make sure that these elections where everybody can go and vote. I always say, look at what we do in Florida. We have a state of 23 million people. We have Republican and Democrat supervisor of elections, and we could deliver results within 90 minutes, and everybody's happy. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody has full faith and confidence in the system. Why can't other states get it too? Because it's not meant to deliver the results and the will of the people. These guys, like I said, are trying to cheat. They're trying to find ways to create openings, and it's disappointing. And we need to pass the Save America Act. That's why we have to come together as Republicans, unite behind our candidates who are winning these nominations, and we got to deliver the majorities to the president so he could pass the Save America Act, and that these other great pieces are being held up by these liberal Ds, and these holdout Republicans are about to leave.
Joe Gruters speaking with us, chairman of the RNC. I mean, the truth is that if it goes through the reconciliation process, you don't even need all of the Republicans to vote in favor of it. So you don't even need to ask the Democrats to support it. But it seems as though in the Senate, the Republicans are, some of them, enough of them maybe, are dragging their feet on making this a reality. Yesterday on this show, our Missouri Senator here, Eric Schmidt, said, let's do the talking filibuster. Let's go. Let's make people work for it. If only Republicans are needed to get this passed, why hasn't that happened?
Yeah, listen, it's a failure on the leadership in the Senate. They need to do a better job. This is something that's prioritized by the president and his administration, and it's my belief that the party and that the party members in the House and the Senate should move this forward. And it's a complete disappointment. I've worked with the vice president on this. I've talked to numerous senators to try to push these guys, and I know they're trying different ways. And yeah, your Senator Schmidt is an absolute superstar.
Yes.
He's a MAGA warrior, great guy. But yes, we are working. But I know this, that we are going to replace some of these longstanding senators on our side. The Tillis, Cassidy, Cornyn, others. They're all leaving, and we're replacing them with these MAGA warriors that will take the president's agenda and make sure that it passes. So I'm fully confident that we'll be able to get it done. Either if not now with reconciliation, after November if we hold the majorities, and we just got to implement the plan that we've created, and that's largely being implemented right now. We're doing a great job. We have the candidates we want. The left is nominating these radical leftists who are these mini mamdamis all over, and so we're getting a lot of the favorable matchups. We have the most cash on hand in the history of the party ever against the DNC, who has minus 4 million. And then we have the best, showman that's ever existed in President Donald J. Trump. And if we use that midterm convention to then go barnstorm the country and hit all these competitive districts, I have no doubt we'll be able to not only hold the Senate, but hold the House and deliver the results the president needs so he can finish strong these last 2 years.
We're listening to the chairman of the RNC, Joe Gruters, speaking with us right now. I'm looking forward to that. I want to go. I'm going to try to figure out how to go because I think that midterm conference is going to be a really exciting thing to see, to watch what President Trump wants to do with the last 2 years of his administration. But also hanging in the balance is control of Congress. It's a very big deal in order to make sure that the Make America Great Again, America First policy focus can actually be carried out. I'm looking at a Fox News poll that was, I think, released today. It polled June 12th through the 15th. So just a few weeks ago. Trump, it says the margin of people who approve versus disapprove of Trump's handling of the economy is negative 37%, disapprove at 68%. Definitely the conflict in Iran is having an effect on this, but I do believe that Americans want to see more movement on an economy that is working for the people. What is your response to this? What do you want people to understand, voters to understand going into these midterms about what President Trump is doing and what a Republican Congress is doing for the taxpayer, the voter, and what the alternative in what this version of the Democrats is going to do if should they get the power?
Well, people have the short memory because if you go back to the Biden years, we had the highest inflation, highest gas prices ever. You know,
Yes.
It was one thing after the next. And this president, when he got in, his main focus has been on the working man, the average American out there. And he has empathy. He wants things to get better, and he's working around the clock. That's why he has $19 trillion worth of investments coming in, which you won't feel overnight. But when you're, deporting all of our jobs of middle America, at some point, we're going to hit the wall, and that the president saw that. He's been fighting for it. He passed a working tax family cuts, and which creates a situation where you have no tax on tips and overtime and limited tax on Social Security, and on and on. I mean, this guy has been going to bat for the average American every single day. That's his main focus. He is, this conflict has created a temporary setback, but I think that the price that the country is paying, there's a reason why in 47 years nobody's touched it. This president understands that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. They can't continue to bully us or terrorize their neighbors, and they had to be stopped. And I think it's the president's doing his best to get out of it. And I think once we get out of it, I think things will head back to normal. But it's I'm grateful that the president is willing to use some political capital to do what's in the best interest of America, because that's what the D.C. elitists have failed to do for 5 decades. Both Republicans and Democrats have sold the American worker down the river. This president cares about the average American, and he wants everybody to have the chance at living the American dream. But we have to continue to push for his policies, because on the flip side, the government is not the answer. Government controlled anything is a disaster, and we certainly don't want to give up our system where you could start with nothing and end up living the dream. I appreciate what the president's doing, and as well as the conservative leadership in the House and the Senate.
Joe Gruters, chairman of the RNC, with us right now. And one last topic to cover with you, because it's been a big news story today. This administration's constant pursuit of fraud, when the reins of government have been in the hands of leftists and maybe some people on the right side of the aisle who got soaked up in the bureaucracy of things. There is so much fraud that is out there with the Americans' hard-earned tax dollar gets sucked into the government system and then handed out without even any check or balance on it whatsoever. Every time we turn around, we're finding hundreds of millions or billions of dollars of the American taxpayers' effort just being sent off to maybe even foreigners, people who aren't even here anymore. Talk to me about the importance of seeing the fraud exposure effort all the way through for this administration, the future of this country.
Yeah, well, it started with Doge, and now it's on the fraud. And yes, I'm glad the president is bringing the hammer. He put J.D. Vance, our vice president, in charge of this to bird dog it and to really go out there and find it. And what's crazy is the amount and the level that it exists, and the fact that you're exactly right. We've allowed it to exist. No checks and balances, no basic common sense reason. I'm a CPA and an auditor by trade, and the fact that some of these things they go unchecked, and you get tens or not hundreds of billions of dollars being wasted, flushed down the toilet, why everybody else tries to struggle and live paycheck to paycheck. It's not fair. I'm glad they're tackling it, and I know from talking with the vice president that there's a lot more that they're about to expose, and so be prepared to see it, and everybody should be upset about it.
Well, we are rooting for every single one of those dollars to be clawed back and exposed. And when you have the former vice presidential candidate in Governor Tim Walz being either too stupid or too malicious to actually call out what's going on in his own state, and we can go on and on about Gavin Newsom in California, Minnesota, California being at the epicenter of the news today. These people have willfully overlooked it. It's a sin of commission, not omission. And this administration and this cabinet seems to be very, very into working it out and showing the American people what has been happening. We need to not go back for sure. Joe Gruters, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. We'd love to have you back again too soon, so we can continue to harp on the SAVE Act, get it passed. The American people, certainly here in the Midwest, want to see that happen.
Thank you, Annie. Have a great one. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Joe Gruters, the chairman of the RNC, online or on X at Chairman Gruters, Gruters. Go give him a follow there to keep up with what's going on at the RNC. We'll break here quickly. When we come back, a little more reaction to today's YouTube live chat poll. We're asking if you're concerned about Cyclospora. Let us know in the YouTube poll, youtube.com/@Annie Frey. You can type in Annie Frey on YouTube. You'll see we're broadcasting live, the live chat. That's where you see the poll. You can also text us at 314-241-9797. We'll be right back.
'50th birthday in 2026. This is 97.1 FM Talk. America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
If you've been told that you need a new heating and cooling system for your home, and if you've gotten prices or you're going to get prices, call me. Try to stay away from the word high efficiency or efficiency. If you replace your system now and it's 12, 15, or 20 years old, you are greatly improving the efficiency just by replacing the old, inefficient unit. Do not be fooled. If you want a common sense approach and you just want your house cooled, I will help you. If you're good with that, call me. One easy number. It's Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group, to learn how to create your worry-free retirement. We'll meet August 11th at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, August 11th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce! Spruce! Spruce!
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees, when used as directed. Spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
You're listening.
Why is this funny?
I don't know, but it is.
Not even saxophone, man.
It's a groove, though.
Get your act together over there. Do you need to be alone?
Oh, no. I like sharing these things with my friends.
Where are your friends?
I don't know. Because they're certainly not in here.
Aw.
Because I was having a decent little groove there, and then Brad shut the music off.
Stupid microphone.
I didn't enter that song, by the way. That was Ethan.
Let's just let you do the rest of this show.
No,
This
thank
hour.
you. No, thank you.
What if I just dropped dead right now, what would you talk about? You'd probably play by play.
I would just tell people, you know, the weird ways in which you were writhing, I guess.
Gosh, Ryan. I in the break had to use the restroom.
Yep.
There apparently have been some power outages around the building lately. I don't know if we've talked about this on the air. I haven't. But there's no lights in the bathroom.
Nope.
I couldn't see my hand in front of my face.
Nope. Yeah, if you let that door close, it is dark.
Yeah.
There are no windows in a bathroom.
I was going in the bathroom, and Trisha goes, "It's going to be dark in there." And I'm like, "Oh, it's fine."
No.
And I'm like, and she followed me in.
Yeah.
And the door closed. I'm like, are you using the bathroom or you just helping me out? She goes, just helping you out. So she stood in there and held a flashlight.
Yep.
Not in the stall, but in the bathroom. It was just enough.
Yeah. I think I was the one that discovered that they were out because I reported it to everyone. And
Did you use the bathroom first?
I did.
Did you hold a light?
No.
Uh-oh.
I went.
Did
and
you use
then
the women's
I
or the
discovered,
men's?
that was the sink. And I'm like, I guess I got to tell somebody now. So I did. But no, I held my phone up and went in there because
Pitch
that's
black.
just no other way to do it.
You got to just turn the light on, set it on the sink, and then take
And
care
yeah,
of
you
business.
just kind of need to know
You-
generally
you
where
only-
it is.
Like if you're getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, you're probably not turning on the lights, right?
Oh, I turn them on. I have no other option. It's either pitch black dark or I have to turn a light on. So it's the same situation here where I don't have a night light. I guess I could just have a little night light in my bathroom.
We should plug night lights in the bathroom just in case.
I thought about that.
Yeah. But I think they're fixing the power situation. So
Apparently this situation happened last week as well when you and I were gone.
Mhm.
And Brad, keenly aware, brought lamps and put them into the bathrooms. And everybody loved it because it wasn't overhead lighting anymore. Because apparently...
was that the compliment?
I think so. I've read recently that women, for whatever reason, hate overhead lighting.
Well, I didn't put anything in the women's restroom.
Well, I don't know how they got light then. Is it true, though? Is that statement true that women
fluorescent lighting sucks.
generally hate overhead lighting?
Women like a good mood lighting. This is a perfect segue into our 2:30 segment of X's and Y's.
I'm going to ask that question of the entire room, which is probably the exact same people that are in right now.
Why don't you ask it to the text line?
Ooh, okay.
314-241-9797. Do women hate overhead lighting? Do men like it?
And is it just because of the way that it makes you look, or is there a feel to it? Because I could understand if it's like, oh, it makes my eyes look better.
I don't
if
think it's I don't care what my eyes look like. I don't have to look at them. I just have to look.
Well, other
with
people have
them.
to look at them.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't ever look at you.
He's looking at the ceiling. I don't have any idea. If you would like to submit a question for our X's and Y's segment, we ask questions about men and women. Anything goes. You can ask anything in the text line, and if it's good, we'll use it. 314-241-9797. I think when it comes to lighting, it's not so much about the negative effect of bad lighting, but it's good lighting makes you feel good.
That's what
It's
I'm
an
asking.
It's an addition. Whereas if you walk into an office and they got fluorescent lighting, or if you're in like Kmart or something, which is where I think of fluorescent lighting, you're like, okay, it's lit. But a good mood light, yeah. That's what I'm about. We'll do that at 2:30. You can text us at 314-241-9797.
You're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Point Pest Control. That's point with an E. PointPestControl.com. 636-798-0023. That's 636-798-0023. If you mention Annie when you call Point Pest Control, you're going to receive 10% off, which is pretty incredible. A great way to save. I'm a Premier plan subscriber. They come quarterly to my home. I don't have pests. It's that simple. A great investment and an affordable investment into making sure that you're not dealing with ants or roaches or spiders. I would scream right now, but I don't want to scare the people in the room. They're just the type of pests that make their way into your house. Even like that one cricket that's so flipping annoying that's in your basement. You got to find it, and then you find it, and it stares at you. You go to kill it, and it's gone. How do they do that? I don't know. Point Pest Control can do that for you, and then you don't have to listen to them anymore. Just give them a call at 636-798-0023. That's 636-798-0023. And don't forget to mention my name, because you're going to save an extra 10%. Point with an E online at pointpestcontrol.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
After 10 straight nights of strikes on the Sobrady, Fox News, the Pentagon says the U.S. is degrading Iran further and further.
And the president has all the options necessary. If they want to talk, they can talk. Otherwise, they can deal with the War Department.
Secretary Pete Hegseth earlier at the White House. He's now on Capitol Hill, along with the Joint Chiefs chair at a Senate hearing on the president's request for more funding. President Trump isn't ruling out a diplomatic end to the conflict.
Amid daily U.S. airstrikes, President Trump says Iran's leaders are desperate to meet for negotiations.
And until they're ready to meet in a meaningful way, we have no interest.
Speaking alongside Lebanon's president, President Trump signaled expanding American military operations, foreshadowing strikes on Pickaxe Mountain, a site where it's believed Iran moved nuclear centrifuges.
We'll be hitting that area probably pretty soon, and there's not a thing they can do about it.
Iran has continued targeting commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz, as well as American allies in the region.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The president's nominee for Director of National Intelligence, Jay Clayton, just advancing to the full Senate after a split vote in committee. Thousands of non-citizens ending up on New Jersey's voter rolls. Governor Mikey Sherrill blames a software error in the Motor Vehicle Commission system under the previous administration of fellow Democrat Phil Murphy.
It's unacceptable that the vendor released software with such a glaring error. It's unacceptable that the MVC took a year to get this issue fixed. And it's unacceptable that no one in the previous administration brought this to light, demanded accountability, or took action when it happened years ago.
She's launching an investigation ordering that erroneous registrations be removed and says out of more than 6,000 non-citizens registered fewer than 400 cast ballots. The White House says this underscores the necessity of a bill backed by the president that includes proof of citizenship to vote. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
There's a lot of hay being made right now from Democrats and Republicans alike, commenting on the direction that the Democrat Party is headed into. You can't deny the influence that socialism, democratic socialism, is having on the Democrat Party. And remember when the squad, there was enough of them to call it a squad? At first it was AOC, and then there were a few more, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, they've got a group, and they named it the Squad. And I hated that name. I still hate that name.
They're still there, too.
Yes.
But they are reaching their tentacles out. Yep.
The progress of the progressive wing of the Democrat Party has people like Van Jones saying, this is a problem.
I've been waiting my whole life to see a youth movement do what it's doing. But it's being hijacked by people who are putting in nutty ideas supporting terrorists, nutty ideas saying that we don't need cops in prison. We can't deport anybody even if they rape somebody. Who said this? Chevalier. If we can't say right from wrong, if we can't say good from bad, if we can't separate progressive ideas from regressive ideas, we're going down the same pathway that has pulled the Republican Party into an unrecognizable shell of itself. And I refuse to let that happen to Democrats.
And the other problem...
I am a progressive Democrat. You want to talk about prison reform? I've done it as well as anybody, Republican Democrats in the South with Trump. I've done prison reform. I never said have no prisons. Where are you going to put the Klan? I've done police reform. I never said no police. Where are you going to put the pedophiles? Who's going to grab the pedophiles? This stuff is going too far.
So Van Jones on CNN making those comments, and, a lot of people are like, shh, no dissension. No dissension in the ranks. If you want to have those conversations, Democrats are usually pretty good at this. You have them behind closed doors. You do not go on a CNN panel and speak out the way that Van Jones is speaking out. You don't do that, because then all of a sudden you give public stage to the idea that maybe the Democrats aren't in lockstep. Well, what would they be in lockstep behind? What does the Democrat Party collectively agree on? Well, it's pretty obvious. We're all aware of where these Democrats are in agreement on, at least up until this point, where you have people like Van Jones and Bill Maher coming out and saying, this isn't the direction of the Democrat Party I'm willing to support. Here is more from CNN.
Let me make sure I understand. This deranged anti-ICE leftist tries to blow up the federal office in New York today, and that's Donald Trump's fault. Joe Biden.
Nobody said
that. You just gave a long speech about it.
Never said that. You didn't listen to a word I said, did you?
No one said that.
Joe Biden doesn't enforce immigration laws. And that's Donald Trump's fault. I'm trying to identify the end of the Choose Your Own Adventure book where it doesn't end with it's Donald Trump's fault. Stephen is right. They did not enforce the law. And you know who will tell you that? Anybody that works for ICE today will tell you when they were working there under Biden, they were told not to enforce immigration law. We haven't passed any new laws. And today, we had the 14th straight month of no releases at the border. The border is closed. Not a single new law was passed. The only difference is the feds are enforcing longstanding existing law, and you have Democrats now demonizing the people enforcing it, and you have people like this lunatic showing up trying to blow up the federal building.
Nobody is supporting this.
So the CNN folks are like, oh, no, we didn't say it was Donald Trump's fault. There are not policies that are being discussed. Orange man bad. Has been for a long time. That hasn't changed. The details have changed. The entire foundation... And this is where Bill Maher coming in is very, very, very scary for the people who are on the left who understand how the system works, because we were all lied to over and over and over again about who Donald Trump was at the very beginning. Those lies that were told about Russia, about, all of the different hoaxes that go into 2021, January 6th of 2021, the type of lies that were talked about, how he incited all of the riot and stuff. It's like, why is this disclaimer needed? January 6th wasn't a great day for the United States of America, but to suggest that Donald Trump was the one who said, go storm the Capitol, break the windows, climb in the building, steal the podium, that did not happen. He actually said, be peaceful. But they not only do they not talk about how the president said to be peaceful, they actually cut that out of the clips that they play. There are people who don't realize that the president said peacefully and patriotically. They don't know that. There are people who think that Charlottesville is a time where Donald Trump said that there are good white supremacists. They think that's what he said. That's not what he said. It's an absolute intentional bold-faced lie. It is intended not to mislead, but to deceive. And that's how they have gotten this far, where there are people who just think Orange Man bad. It's enough to hate Donald Trump as the premier point, the only point in an entire political party's platform in order to, what? Retain power. Gosh, I would say that's almost how you would destroy democracy, even though it's a republic. A republic is a democracy, but I digress. You've got multiple people on the left out talking right now about how this iteration of the Democratic Party is not one that they are willing to participate in and to sustain. That's a problem for the Democrats going into a midterm. It's a huge problem going into a midterm to listen to the reliable voices like Van Jones say, I think that maybe the Democrat Party needs to say, no, we're not for this. We're not for no police. Police reform, in Van Jones's mind, yeah, police reform. No police? No, nobody's saying that. Nobody wants that. That's what they're saying, Van Jones is saying, and I think it's important that people listen up. Van Jones is saying that after he said that he's getting tons of very high-profile Democrats.
You get some Democrats
are
saying
cowardly.
they support it.
They're cowardly. Their party is being taken over now by, every day I hear about a new, very radical. I feel very good about, like 10 whenever years ago, like I did lose fans because, I wasn't going to go along with some of this crazy stuff on the left, too. I didn't change really on what I thought about the right, but just I can't sit and just not notice stuff, which people seem to want to do because it's all about my team or your team. But, yeah, there's some crazy stuff. When we're cheering for the Intifada, I gotta cut, I'm out.
Well, I don't know if you saw Jake.
John Carl there on ABC talking about with Bill Maher about the current state of the Democrat Party. And I think that Bill Maher has been true to himself. Bill Maher is a thinker who speaks, which is very different than a lot of the punditry that you'll see maybe on the 24/7 news, where people get their marching orders and they go with their marching orders. Ryan, people will accuse me of, like, somebody said this on our Facebook page yesterday. It's like something about, like, because I posted a picture of me on a train at Disney World. It was like, hey, looking forward to being back on Monday. And then this guy was like, I'm sorry, I can't listen. I can't support and uphold the MAGA cult or something. I'm like, I am flattered that you think that that's what listening to my show does, but I don't get any talking points. I don't, nobody tells me what to say. And I don't say that as a, like, defensive, nobody tells me what to say. I mean, literally, I have to come up with all of this on my own.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned that in light of what Van Jones just said, because there is a lot of debate on the right. Like, you and I will debate points at times, although we agree a lot. Brad, the same. There are fights on the House floor among Republicans, very, very public. So there's a lot of dissension in the Republican Party over policy. What's interesting is that like you said, the Democrat Party mostly does that behind closed doors. We don't.
Nancy Pelosi's way.
Yes.
Yeah, she's the queen bee on that.
But lately they're having to figure out, well, how do we do this still behind closed doors, because it's not working. The average Democrat isn't pulling the left inward at all. In fact, the left is pulling the average Democrat further left. And it's because the money is all on the far, far progressive, regressive side, you could say. And so the average Democrat is trying to figure out now, well, what is my place in this party?
You'd imagine that these conversations have been taking place behind closed doors, very passionately so. And the real question I would have is, for how long?
Yes.
How long have they been passionately arguing behind closed doors? No, we're not going in the way of communism. Now Van Jones and Bill Maher have the guts to come out and say, yeah, this isn't, they're not like, I am a huge Republican. I am going to pull out my MAGA hat and wear it. That's not what they're doing. But at the same time, they're saying, but I'm not that. And you can't make me keep my mouth shut to go along to get along if the end result here flatters something towards the way of communism. I'm just not going to do it. Here's more from Bill Maher. I wanted to play these clips yesterday. Didn't get to him. Talking to Carl on ABC.
You told J.D. Vance you're open. Your vote is up for grabs.
Yes, my vote is in play because it can't be Trump running.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform from their own mouths? Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again, they say things like, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism. There is a definition.
By the way, Trump's doing that too.
Of course. Yes.
And to a degree that we haven't seen any other president, Democrat or Republican, do.
Great. That's crazy too.
He's got a piece of intel.
Right.
A piece of the AI companies.
He treats everything like it's a real estate deal.
So the question that you have for these gentlemen is, so is it good or is it bad? Are we against it? Because if we're against it, Carl, they're saying Trump's doing it too. But Trump. Okay, make the case, make the argument, that's fine. But are you mad at are you mad at its existence because Trump is doing it or because it's being done? If you so think that that's exactly what the president is doing. The reason why I wanted to bring up these different issues is because there's this report out earlier this morning from the leading report. Democrats are reportedly concerned that Senator John Fetterman will switch parties and become a Republican. Now, I've heard this be suggested for quite some time, and I've always thought that's pretty foolish. He's not going to switch to become a Republican. He'll become an independent, probably still vote with Democrats on the majority on the whole. But what if Senator Fetterman decided to pull away from the Democrat Party, give breath to the idea that this version, this Israel-hating communist version of the Democrat Party isn't for him and he has no problem stepping away from it? I don't know that it would be a terribly bad move for him to do in Pennsylvania. Because if the Democrat who steps up to fill his spot in the Senate to challenge him in the Senate decides to be one of those far left progressive ones, I don't think that wins in Pennsylvania. Maybe it makes it easier for a Republican to win. I don't know. But if he were to switch over to be a Republican or even an independent that actually votes independently, which he does, is he open to the Save America Act?
Oh, this is a good question because they got the same couple senators.
You want to win in Pennsylvania? I just think that if he wanted to make a splash, I appreciate people who think for themselves. Fetterman's not going to vote and agree with everything I think. Bill Maher's not going to vote and agree with everything I think. Van Jones certainly isn't. But I respect all of those individuals. I think they all think with their heads, feel with their hearts, and don't set either aside at any time to come to a conclusion on any particular issue. I believe it is their own.
I also believe that there are a whole lot of Democrats that are just like them who won't say a dang thing.
Yeah.
Because they know that their pocketbook is tied to it.
Well, just like Van Jones is saying, his phone is going nuts with people saying, thank you for saying what you said. That first clip we played from Van Jones, thank you for speaking up. And if I'm Van Jones, I'm like, now you go.
Come on the show.
Yeah, you next. Give me a break. Ethan, sports and local next, but at 2:30, we're going to hit you with an X's and Y's segment to wrap up the show. We want your questions on the text line, 314-241-9797. Questions for men and women and, just trying to flesh out the differences that we have from one another, if we even have any. Ethan, sports and local next.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job. Cut the Bull PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
I want to talk to you about Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com. There are 3 good reasons you should talk with Greg. 1, your health insurance premium is too high. Well, Greg saves most people 30 to 60% on their monthly premiums. 2, your deductible is too high. Well, with most of Greg's plans, you will have no deductible or out-of-pocket expenses. 3, your doctor doesn't take your plan. Well, you can use Greg's plan at most any doctor or hospital in the country. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive. Call Greg, an expert with over 40 years' experience, at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. Greg will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government. Because you don't know what you don't know about your health insurance coverage.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative. This segment of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by All Financial.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
The raging rants of Ethan. Again.
Go ahead.
We're really excited about Ethan Sports and Local today. Ethan?
Thank you.
Annie speaks on behalf of herself.
That's pretty much right.
Only herself. She didn't even speak on behalf of me. I'm not excited for this because I have to talk about just how...
My son came to me yesterday evening, and out of the blue, like he came home and he walked up to me, and there was no pre-context to any of this at all. He goes, I really liked Ethan's reference to the Cardinals crapping the bed yesterday. That was yesterday. You got to come up with something better today.
It's scary dark hours right now for the Cardinals.
Are they becoming sellers? Like, is that what's happening?
They were always going to be sellers. That was never a question. But I started off my post-game show with that very quote last night. Scary dark hours right now for Cardinals fans because they... we talked yesterday ad nauseum about just how bad Sunday's loss was. I would argue that in a different yet similar way. Yesterday's loss was just as ugly.
I am here for this analysis.
Mm-hmm.
In a different but similar way.
It wasn't the same, but at the same time it was the same.
It was a dark and scary night on a Sunday morning.
What were the similarities? They were leading both games late. What were the differences? Wait, hold on. Another similarity.
One was a Sunday,
they lost
one was a
both
Monday.
of them. Differences. One indeed was a Sunday weekend. One was a Monday. Other differences. One, they led by 7 runs at one point. The other, they only led by 1 run. Yesterday's game specifically, the Cardinals had a 2-1 lead against the Los Angeles Angels going into the bottom of the 9th inning. Riley O'Brien, Cardinals All-Star, just literally less than a week ago. It was less than a week ago. O'Brien retires the first batter of the inning. You're thinking, all right, we're in a good place. We're going to lock this one up.
Is that what you were thinking at that point?
Flush away the horrors of Sunday afternoon.
Were you thinking that, or were you thinking, please don't blow it, please don't blow it, please don't blow it?
I texted a buddy of mine in the 6th inning and said, I will feel comfortable once we score 7 more runs. When in reality, just 1 more run would have made me feel a little bit better. After retiring that first batter, which was Mike Trout, Nolan Schanuel reached on a base hit up the middle, and then Riley O'Brien hit Jorge Soler.
Oops.
That put runners on first and second. Vaughn Grissom then hit a deep fly ball to right field that Jordan Walker was putting a spin cycle on. A very bad track to the ball. Would have been a nice play if he would have made it. A ball he should have caught regardless. and that would have been out number 2. That hit off of the wall. You guys remember Game 6, David Freese had that whole triple thing with 2 outs. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember how dumb Nelson Cruz looked? That's kind of what Jordan Walker looked like trying to catch that ball yesterday.
Shots fired.
Jumped like 3 feet in front of the wall. Really awkward.
Ryan, can you just stand behind Ethan and rub his shoulders? Get him through this.
No. That's okay.
No, I don't want to do that.
You can stay over there. That's fine.
Okay.
That tied the game. The Cardinals intentionally walked the next batter. Bases loaded, 1 out. Riley O'Brien, 3 straight balls, 3-0, and then he hits Joe Adell, and that is how the Cardinals lost yesterday.
Gosh.
In as fall apart fashion as you can get.
Any happy local stories?
No.
Oh.
None.
How's the sinkhole coming?
You want to talk about Cyclospora and line things up here a little bit?
I have no further updates on cases on Cyclospora. We'll have to wait till maybe a little bit later in the week for an update on that. But yeah, bad loss for the Cardinals. They're going to try and right the ship this evening. Game 2 against the Angels. Matthew Liberatore will be on the mound. Here's the thing. Long season, 162 games played. You just got to keep moving forward, and hopefully the Cardinals are able to do exactly that tonight.
Lelouch.
I don't know who that is.
Google it.
No, I'm not going to Google it.
You got to know your cliches, man.
In other news, we've been waiting now for a couple of months as to what exactly the new TV deal is going to look like for the St. Louis Blues. And in a recent announcement, the Blues in the NHL announced that there will be more control over these broadcasts because the two are going to be partnering up, in which the league will handle production and the Blues will be charged with distribution. The partnership is coming following the shutdown of Main Street Sports Group, which was the parent company of FanDuel Sports Midwest that previously broadcasted Blues games. The Blues are one of 4 NHL teams that will have their broadcasts produced by the league. St. Louis will be joined by Carolina, Columbus, and Minnesota. This just got announced this morning by both the NHL and the Blues, provided some direction on how fans may be able to watch the Blues, but did not announce a bunch of details. So more is going to continue to be announced as time goes on. Just a couple of Q&A things. Still hasn't been decided where exactly fans will be able to watch. But once that
in the arena.
Well, yes, that will be a slam dunk guarantee. You can put that on the board. Once it is announced what the feed will be on, about 70 of the 82 games will be available to watch on that, and then some of them will be carried on, ABC, ESPN, TNT, some of the different spots. Downloading an app will be an option. The Blues have also not released direct-to-consumer option costs yet. Broadcast is probably going to look pretty similar, a simulcast with TV and radio, Chris Kerber and Joe Vitale on the call. So still a lot of information that's going to have to come out here in the next, couple of weeks, maybe months, but at least something getting going in the direction of this. We'll go ahead and keep it sports related here in our last story of the afternoon. Good news for the Missouri Tigers. We talked a couple of months ago about the scary situation with their star player, their running back Ahmad Hardy, who at a get together in Mississippi over the summer got shot in the leg, and there were questions as to whether or not he was going to even be able to play again this season. Well, the good news, he has been medically cleared to return to football activities following that bullet hitting his thigh. Mizzou expects there to be a return to play procedure that takes approximately 5 to 8 weeks. This was said by Coach Eli Drinkwitz on Monday morning at the SEC preseason media day. If the recovery takes only 5 weeks, Hardy could be eligible for the season opener, which is coming up on September 3rd. The 8-week timeline would push his return closer to when conference play gets started for the Tigers, which is at the end of September against Mississippi State. So very good news for Mizzou fans. It looks like you're going to get Ahmad Hardy, at least for the important part of the football season this year.
Yes. ILL.
Yeah.
Saw that coming.
Go football.
Do you mean soccer?
No, I do mean football. I am a huge college football fan, as you all know.
What's your team?
My team is Pepperdine.
Changes every time he's asked.
Oh, my goodness. What's their mascot again?
The Mint.
It really should be.
X's and Y's next on the Annie Frey Show. If you've got questions for us as we discuss and differentiate between men and women, we love your questions. We'll take them. If you got them, send them in. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. I am going to start with the question that I posed on X over the weekend. Is it a test of masculinity to drive the whole road trip? That's the first question. We come back. Send us yours. We'll be back in just a minute.
Sometimes it feels like the news is full of things that have never happened before. And that is not exactly true. In fact, it may have happened this very week, hundreds or thousands of years ago. I'm Sally Helm, host of the podcast History This Week from the History Channel. Trade embargoes? Thomas Jefferson tried them. Rent too high? We've been arguing about that for a while. Each episode is proof. The past isn't that far away. Listen to History This Week, available now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com, 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair is the go-to guy to come look at your basement when you're experiencing water making its way into the foundation of your home, the basement of home. You know you've got a problem. It's not going to solve itself. It's not going to get better on its own. You need an expert, someone you can trust to fix it right and to fix it right the first time. Home Shield Foundation Repair and Matt Hayes will put a lifetime warranty on the work that they do to waterproof your basement. And now they're excited to announce 24 months, 0% financing to make the fix that you need in your basement more affordable for you. What you're going to do is call 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Matt Hayes is a trusted name in foundation repair. And you can learn everything you need to know about the foundation repair services that they offer, including waterproofing your basement, when you visit their website at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Bill, you're an old politician.
Yup, sure am.
So you know the old-timers warned that someone trying to sell you a pig in a poke was a con man.
Well, sure.
Well, no offense, Tom, but your politician's Amendment 5 is a pig in a poke, allowing politicians to raise our taxes without a vote of the people, and the politician's Amendment 4 takes away our power to do anything about it. Well, let's look at what's really inside Ford 5.
Oh, don't do that.
5 hits hardest seniors and those struggling financially with new taxes on services like doctor visits, in-home care, and rent. Sales taxes could more than triple. For up to 80% of Missourians, it's a tax hike. And Amendment 4 ends majority rule, allowing a minority of the most liberal statewide voters in one district to effectively end our power to stop corruption and out-of-control spending and taxing.
Slick plan, huh?
No, Tom. 4 and 5 are schemes that hurt citizens and transfer our power and our money to politicians and lobbyists. That's why I'm voting no on the politicians' Amendments 4 and 5, paid for by Missourians for fair governance.
Well, I'm sure you're aware, I guess you can all imagine, that not only are we busy, but other reputable companies are also just as busy, if not busier, and it's only going to get worse. So if you know, I know this is tough, but if your system has not been keeping up with your house for just not this year, but last year, the year before, and even the year before that, if you want to quit doing it and just get it done, just call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, the easiest of numbers that sometimes I forget. So write it down. 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
YouTube live chat poll today: on a scale of 1 to 4, how concerned are you about Cyclospora? Are you a number 2? like number.
Get over yourself. Come on.
Are you number 1, a 2, or a 3, or a 4?
What is a 3 and a 4?
I don't know, but they're all just poop emojis. So if you choose them online,
you gotta go vote to see it. I've never done this before.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun, and we're just talking about little poopy guys.
All of those little emojis are smiling at you.
Yeah, and they look like little ice creams coming out of a unicorn butt.
No, they're
so
brown.
the
Unicorns don't poop around.
You don't know that.
You're darn
you
right
don't
I
know
do.
that.
I've got a 5-year-old. I know.
Well, I've seen it.
Okay.
314-241-9797 is the text line. Dale says, regarding the poll, frankly, my dear, I don't give a poop.
Okay. None. 0 poops.
And then lots
enough.
of other people weighing in and saying that, well, this one says, CNN, breaking news, source of Cyclospora outbreak could be from oatmeal cream pies.
No, this is
Oh,
devastating.
no.
Ryan
Are you
has to
kidding me?
change his answer.
It is 2:34. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Where common sense rules.
So we're asking questions here about the difference between men and women, trying to get to the bottom of things so we can explain it, understand each other a little bit better. And I started a Substack last night. I don't know what I'm doing on it, so if you want it, I don't even know how to tell you to find it. It's like maybe anniefrey.substack.com. I don't know. But I did write the story that I'm going to ask the question here right now. We were driving home from Florida. We opted to drive this time. My son and I flew out a little bit later. My husband took the girls, to visit some family in Florida first. So I rode back with them from Central Florida, and I was really tired the whole way back because I got up at like 4:45 to get everything going or whatever. I let Jared sleep a little bit because I knew he was going to start driving. And I thought that in the middle of the day that I would start to feel less tired, but I really didn't. And I wanted to be honest about it. He was doing great driving. For us, it was probably 16 and a half hours of driving. We never stopped and sat down anywhere, but gas station breaks, food breaks. You got a 5-year-old, you take every potty break. It just is what it is. And he kept driving, and I could tell that if I would have been like, Jared, I want to drive, let me drive, he would have been like, okay, that's fine. Halfway through in the Tennessee mountains, whatever. But I wasn't really feeling it, and he was doing fine, and we got to be about 3 hours out. And I'm thinking this is the time where he needs to be relieved. It was late evening, maybe. And I looked at him, I'm like, 3 hours out. You going to finish this whole thing? And I was kind of saying it tongue-in-cheek. He goes, hell yes. And it was all of a sudden this energy of
Freebird playing in his mind.
I'm doing this. And it wasn't the energy that I had seen before, but it was almost as if there was a point in his brain where he's like, I can do this whole thing. And he wasn't, he was completely awake. I was asking him, like a good wife, every 10 minutes, are you okay? You doing all right? Feeling good? And his answers were always yes. And I was there. I was awake with him the whole time. I didn't sleep while he drove. But I realized in that moment, I even asked him, I go, is this like a test of your masculinity for you to finish this whole drive? And he was like, yeah. Ryan, is it a test? Do you consider it on a road trip? That was a 15, 16-hour drive on a road trip. Are you eager to let your wife drive, share equal time, or is there a part of you that's like, I need to do this to prove my manhood to the world?
There is no part of me that would want to prove that to anyone. And therefore, it is not a test of masculinity. It is a test of endurance, but that could go for either gender.
But it's not a dude thing.
I don't think so. The overcoming the test thing is a dude thing. Like just
specifically the long-term drive.
No. Now, I would say that it would be a little lame if you split time with your wife.
If you're like, it's your turn, honey.
Yes.
Lame?
Yes. Yeah. Now, you could come up with a little bit of a plan, but the burden needs to fall on your shoulders.
Rick says on YouTube, has he trusted you with driving before, Annie? And the truth of the matter is, for that, usually he's a morning guy and I'm a night owl. So a lot of times when we've driven to Florida, he gets us to about the Smoky Mountains, and that usually happens in the middle of the night, and I can stay up till 3 a.m. and drive he trusts me to drive in the night through the mountains, and he goes in the back in the middle seat and sleeps. So yes, he completely trusts me to drive. I'm a good driver. I've told this story before, but when I was in 7th grade, we were driving to Chicago up 55, and I was in a rollover accident. We rolled 8 times going 65 miles an hour up the highway. So it was a very serious accident. I have a scar on my head from where my head bashed into the hanger hook, and my hair was wrapped up around the screw. So I have real life experience of what could possibly happen. So I am a very nervous rider, but I am a good driver. So he would trust me to drive. Ethan, is it a test of masculinity to complete the drive or to make the long haul?
Yes. It is, and if you do not finish the drive, then you have failed manhood.
Ryan?
I'm going to go to the text line.
And it says?
It says, yes, it is a sign of masculinity. This person says, I once drove from Miami all the way back to St. Louis, only stopping twice, total of 17 hours. That was one hell of a trip.
Now, that's the impressive part. I mean, holding your bladder that whole time, going twice.
I don't know if these people are holding their bladder.
Yeah,
I mean,
they might
like,
be going in a little cup.
What do you think they got, like a little soda bottle there?
Brad, test of masculinity?
It absolutely is. I didn't think it was at first when I first saw it, but then I thought, what would I do if I heard about somebody that was like, "Babe, can you drive for me? I'm tired."
That's not what I I was
You
like,
don't.
No, you still don't
I
do
would
that.
judge
In
you.
fact, I very particularly said you don't do that.
I think it is a test of manhood, especially like when you're describing Jared getting within like 3 hours of home. You at that point you're all in. You're sold at. I'm finishing that. It's like the last leg of a 5K or whatever. It's like you're there. Your last split is going to be your fastest split because you're going to do it, and then you'll crash out once you get across the finish line.
I remember the first time that I also realized that it was. First off, I mean, like, my dad drove pretty much everywhere growing up. Like, we didn't fly much. We drove pretty much everywhere for vacation, and Dad is driving 98% of all drives, like, from my childhood. But I remember it was last Thanksgiving. We were heading up to Minnesota, and we didn't leave until after work, and I don't get out of here usually until like 6:30. So we didn't start the drive until like 7 o'clock, and we didn't get in until 3:30 probably.
You making the whole trip?
And I just remember telling myself, deep at first I was like, I'll probably switch once we get a little bit later. And the deeper we got, I'm just like, I'm still going. I could do this. Keep going. Don't stop.
Quick Rick says a friend of mine would never let his wife drive because he was worried about waking up dead. That's rude.
Yeah. That's kind of rude, but also I'm like, maybe. To the text line, questions about gender roles. It says, question, isn't it funny since they've been finding all the fraud that the DNC is broke? That's not really gender specific. I don't know why I read that one. All right, next one. It says that overhead lighting is fine. So this is referring to a question that we had teased in the 1 o'clock hour that we said we'd come back to. Is overhead lighting a thing that women in particular don't like and that men are okay with?
I don't think that the standard fluorescent lighting that is in an office space or whatever, it is not conducive to anything that is positive other than not running into the walls that you couldn't see if they were off. Per the bathrooms in our building right now. Being able to see the toilet when you're trying to go to the bathroom, fluorescent lighting is better than none. But good mood lighting, you walk into a room and it's well lit, not too bright, soft light, that warms the mood. So I think women probably notice those things more than men do.
So you
and appreciate
prefer
them.
non-overhead lighting, though?
Wouldn't you think? We've never had the overhead lights on in the studio ever.
Exactly.
When it's just us.
So it's appearance, but it's a matter of appearance.
So yeah, it's just mood.
Okay.
It's the appearance of the room, though.
Oh,
not of
the person. Okay.
I'm never thinking about how the lighting hits me. I just don't want the harshness of the light. Like, even in my house, I don't have the ceiling light on in the living room when we're there, but I have an app for my light bulb, and I turn the light on that's hanging over the corner of the room, and I turn it on 5%. It's just a little light.
The mood lighting.
Mood lighting. Brad, you have thoughts on lighting?
I actually don't. That was my thought on this. It's like
You're saying that you don't care.
I would never have even considered. The only time I ever consider lighting is if it's for a camera or a shot.
So if
or
we
something
turn the
like
lights
that.
on in here, you would not care any.
It wouldn't
one
make
way
a
or the
difference
other.
to me.
Don't you like it better like this?
I do, but only because we've gotten used to it. If it was always on, I wouldn't care at all. I wouldn't have noticed.
Ethan?
I prefer it like this. I just think less lighting is easier. See, my assumption would have been that both guys and girls would have looked at it the same way in the sense of not being a fan of the harsh lighting, but for different reasons. I would have assumed that part of it for women was because of just perception overall. Like, it just doesn't look good how it reflects on you.
I will tell you that if you put your makeup on under a very specific kind of lighting and then you go out into the like natural daylight or fluorescent light, it could look very different under different circumstances. But I don't pay attention to that type of stuff personally, but I know that there are a lot of people who would. More questions, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Text us your questions for X's and Y's. We'll wrap up the show with that and the results to today's poll about how concerned you are about Cyclospora. Back in a minute. The Retirement Advisory Group, you know Bob and Tammy Kershaw, 314-993-9494. August 11th, we've got another event coming up, and I'm going to be there, and I hope you will too. Come say hi and sit for this free event. It's going to last 45 minutes, maybe. Starts at 6:30. You go learn how to make that transition into retirement for free. It costs you nothing. You leave. You're not obligated to anything, but you can take in the information to learn how you can have a tax-free and worry-free retirement. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to have that worry-free retirement. You can talk to them about how to protect your 401k and IRA into your worry-free retirement. There's all these different moves that you can make, but you got to make them at the right time, and you got to make them with the right people. And that is the Kershaws at the Retirement Advisory Group. I'd love to meet you there and say hi. I get there at 6 o'clock. Event starts at 6:30, and you can reserve your spot by calling 314-993-9494 or visiting them online to learn more at retirementkey.com.
Can't get enough 97.1? Follow us on socials. Facebook, X, Instagram at 97.1 FM Talk, and YouTube at 97.1 FM Talk STL. 97.1 FM Talk. Let's connect.
License number GL2500615.
Hey, Dad, what causes drains to clog?
Grease, hair, soap scum, and tree roots.
Tree roots?
This town has old pipes and big trees. They find each other.
They grow inside pipes?
They bust into pipes.
Whoa.
Once they're in, the water stops flowing.
Can we fix it?
The big green grasser machine can fix any clog.
Green is always grasser at grasserhomeservices.com.
If you like that comfortable setting to hang out where people know your name, check out Lit Cigar Lounge. My friends at Lit Cigar Lounge are fantastic. Brian and Dana and Andrew and Charlie and Nick and all of them down there are going to get to know you by name because it is a family-run business in the Chesterfield Valley in the district. They've got an extensive selection of bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails and some of the best hand-rolled cigars from around the world. Check them out at the district or go online to litstl.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
So some X's and Y's questions here as we work through the differences between men and women. We've got a follow-up question or follow-up response to the, is it a test of your masculinity to finish the whole road trip? I did get a text from my husband that says, Annie, it was about 17 and a half hours. the road trip was when
Not
it was
that he
all
was
said and
counting.
done. Yeah, he was counting. He probably rounded up to the
These
half hour.
comments from the text line are disparate. One says, "My name is Kyle." And
Hi, Kyle.
I think first-time texter is what I'm assuming he's saying here. Been married with my wife for 5 years. She's only driven with me as a passenger 2 times in our entire marriage. The other one says, "I get paid to drive." So he's a driver by profession.
Doesn't want to on the...
The wife gets car sick riding too long, so I'll gladly take in the sights, says Chris.
That makes total sense.
That's absolutely...
the question, is it a test of masculinity, is only one that I'm asking men if they consider it a test of masculinity for themselves. I don't consider it that.
Okay.
But I'm happy to be a passenger princess.
Gotcha.
I don't know if my husband loves it when I'm the passenger princess, but he married me, so you're
the
stuck.
worst.
Sorry.
He must like it well enough to do 17 and a half hours of it.
At one point, well, you didn't have a choice. He put me on the roof. At one point, my daughter gave me her pillow so I could hold it because we were in a lot of stop and go traffic, a lot of construction accidents and everything on the way home. And I was like, I held the pillow and I just put my head down. I was like, I need to avert my eyes. Plus, I was really tired. So, Brad, you had a question?
Yeah. So you going on vacation made me think of this. Whenever women get foundation, it's supposed to be matched to their skin tone, correct? Am I assuming that right? Right? For foundation makeup?
It's not necessarily.
I don't know
it's
the
a
answer,
compliment.
so.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
it's a
looking at
compliment.
us like.
So my question
we do
is
makeup.
what happens whenever a woman goes on vacation to like a nice sunny spot and she gets a nice tan and she comes back? Do they have like?
Why are you looking at Ryan while you ask this question?
All right.
He is
Do you
looking
want
a little
him-
bit
do you want-
darker
do you-
post vacation.
I don't know.
Ethan?
Ryan, what do you do when you get a nice tan in the nice sun?
See these dark circles under my eyes? You do nothing.
Come here, I can fix
Do
that.
they
I got some for that.
Do you have to buy different foundation? Do you just not
You have
use
summer
foundation?
foundation.
Okay, so there's different foundations.
Yeah, you have 2 shades. You have your winter skin and your summer skin. I'm in my summer skin, guys. Look how tan I am.
I'm glad you asked
see
that
that?
question.
Do you
pretty,
see that?
you look pretty pale.
I'm tan, right?
It's a great tan.
Okay, Ginger. I've got all these freckles. They are popping right now. I got complimented on them yesterday because I put up a makeupless picture of me. And now
God
you can see all
forbid you ask a question to me and I give an answer and I get insulted for it. This is just unbelievable.
You said I was looking really pale right now. That wasn't an answer.
Those
it
are
was
words.
an insult.
Those are words that you chose to hear, not that I
Because I have ears.
selectively shared.
I don't even know if I really chose to hear those
I'm
words.
not gonna lie. I don't even remember what.
You know
I
what?
said.
You said no. You're looking a little pale.
Not very pale, which is what you just said a moment ago.
He was giving you a depression era.
I know this is X's and
Compliment.
Y's. I know this is X's and Y's, but I'm just going to say it. Ethan, you're arguing like a woman.
That's an insult to you.
Well, I mean, you too.
Yeah, but I can deal with that.
Ethan, you have a question?
Yeah, this is one specifically for the dudes. Some advice. Earlier, a certain female asked me a question that I had no idea how to answer. Was not Trisha. It was another female.
Who was it?
I don't want to disclose that information right
Was
now.
she pretty?
Was
she pale?
You're really
Did she have freckles?
She's wearing her summer shade.
gave off hardcore passenger princess vibes. I will say that much. This female asked me, Ethan. I said person's name, and that
Person's
female then
Person's name is a
that
really weird response.
person then elected to ask, "Am I wearing enough makeup?" Guys, is there a right answer to this question?
Brad, I would say that the right answer is nope.
Keep working.
Yeah, but you got to have the right amount of sarcasm in it.
Yeah. You got to have a little sarcasm in there.
The
It's
right
gotta sound-
the right addition to nope is sarcasm.
How about
you
keep
gotta
going, you'll get
sarcastic-
there.
You got to be sarcastically as mean
Couple
as
more
possible.
hours.
See, the person that you're talking about asked that question at about 11:55.
Yeah, just about.
And so
Before
I think
the people were about to see her.
Yeah,
the
I
people
think-
that mattered.
the answer no would not have been fine at that point.
No.
At this point, very funny. But I would never test those waters in the immediate vicinity of the
This
question.
is like when your nurse asks you what I look like and you're like, I don't even know.
She's like a lady. That's what I said. I don't know why I said that, but I did.
You can't explain what I look like?
I said she's like this blonde lady.
This is radio. People don't know what I look like. Tell the people, describe me For the listeners right now who have been listening to the show, they've got this idea of what Annie looks like. You stare in my general direction every day. Tell the people what I look like.
It's a
Ryan,
trap.
it's a trap. Don't answer.
It's a trap.
Don't answer it,
No,
Ryan.
I did
Don't answer.
Everybody wants to know.
But I did answer this question, though,
Answer
because
it.
my nurse, when I was in
Describe
the
me.
hospital, asked me about the radio show, and I guess she had heard it but never seen the stream. I don't really remember, but she asked me, and it was a weird question. She goes, your co-host, what does she look like? And I was like,
Tell the people listening right now what I
that's
look
weird.
like.
And what I said was, she's like a blonde lady. Now, if I had to...
I appreciate the acquisition of blonde.
Yeah. So if I had to go on now and describe Annie,
Just give
I would
the
say
people something here.
She's blonde lady.
Mm-hmm.
She's flowers.
She's flowers.
She's got the flowers.
I hurt myself. I hurt my side.
It's borderline Christopher
Bronze skin.
Thank you.
Bronzish.
Ethan.
I'm going to say more pale.
Somewhere between pale and bronze.
Somewhere in that range.
She's got a winter shade and a summer shade.
Yeah. They're combined.
Tons of teeth.
Complimented by that comedian.
That one comedian none of us can remember the name of, but it was kind of weird.
It was scary.
Yeah, it was weird. And just fashion lady.
And at the end of that, the nurse
I
would have
love
been
how
like,
you forgot how to use like adjectives and nouns. You're so uncomfortable. You're not even
This is my
employing the
point.
English language.
This is my point. It's a lose-lose.
Cyclospora, how many poops do you give? Ethan, 1 to 4 poops.
No poops.
That's not an option.
1 poop.
Brad?
I'm a one poop person.
No poops but one.
I'm a 4. I'm so scared.
No.
I do not want this in my house.
You're going to be the only one that gets this because of this.
Y'all voted 6%er with me. You're terrified. Am I with the libs on this one? Is that our
That's the way it is.
You're just a pale liberal.
6%? Shut up. 6% 4, 6% 3, 20% 2, but I think it's only because it's the deuce.
Yeah, it's funny.
And 69% don't care at all. Thank you for listening. I apologize for the show. Mark Reardon will be next on 97.1 FM Talk.
Wedding season is here, so make sure those invitations are in the budget, especially if you have to fly somewhere.
It's travel that becomes the biggest budget killer.
Wealth advisor Craig Bolano says you can save money by grabbing the wedding hotel room rate and by passing on buying a new outfit.
And ladies, they care about whether you go or not. They're not worried about re-wearing a dress.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333.